Hi, boys and girls, lads and lassies, and welcome back to Let's Talk Geeky.
Hello,
Nothing to
everyone.
talk about tonight, so see you later. So, guys, what have you been up to this week?
Well, frankly, not much. Just getting on with, watching programs and all this and that at the moment.
That's basically what we're here for. It's watching the programs. What have you been watching?
I've been watching. Oh, sorry. I've been watching Outer Range. Josh Brolin, Will, whose name I can never recall. He's in Armageddon. He's the father that has been forced to not have contact with his child because court said so. And he goes up to the house. He just plays like a small NASA shuttle on the curb, whereas his exes say, "Oh, you can't come around. Court says so." He's in that one as well. It is a slow-burning sci-fi western, but modern day kind of. You own a ranch. You have your land. You have your property. You need to do X, Y, and Z, and there's always like competing neighbors and land claims and all that. It's very slow burning, but it definitely has its oddity moments. I'm only on episode 3.5-ish because I had to join this stream.
Yeah. What about you, Alec? What have you been watching?
What I've been watching this week is Kenobi, Star Trek. Also, the boys me and Archer Colin last night watched the first episode of For All Mankind, of season 3. So that's what we got so far.
Yeah. I've been watching. I'm still been plowing my way through numbers. I'm on season 4, near the end of season 4. So I am. But did you watch the Orville?
I haven't had the chance yet.
Somebody
First episode, yeah.
I watched the first episode.
I watched the first
episode. Yeah, last week, but I haven't had the chance to watch the second one.
No, I watched it today about an hour ago. It could have been a Halloween episode, but there was a couple of bits in it I just thought were silly. And because of that, I thought it wasn't as good as last week's. Yeah, it was.
Last week's was a little bit tricky. I haven't seen this one, but it was a little bit tricky because they were trying to be very dramatic and mellow. It was like there was so much seriousness within it that it was like, this isn't the usual lightheartedness that they begin with, because they begin easily and it's like, fun, humorous, and then suddenly, things are snowballing and now we actually have to do our job. Whereas this one, it seemed to have kicked off immediately into like the darkness.
Well, this one there's a similar idea. There's a peace treaty with the Kazon and the base. No, the Kazon. What's the aliens? I can't even remember the name of the aliens in the Orville. They're opposite side.
I'll bring it out for you.
See, when that happens, it basically...
Yeah, your memory goes back.
Anyway, they basically come... They're doing and there's a piece of space they're told to stay out because it's full of demons who take over your soul. And it's almost like a ghost story, and it's played out very similar to a story. Even when they go into the Expanse, they say, like, we're entering the haunted house. So to me, this is an episode that was designed for around Halloween. And I think it would have been slightly better if it played around Halloween because it had a bit about it. Just unfortunately, I thought there was silly bits in it that made no sense, and it highlighted it out because it was the second episode. If it was later on and it was done round Halloween, you could get away with those bits and people wouldn't have even noticed it as much. And because it wasn't...
It's the name The Krill.
The Krill, that's it. They were doing them and the Krill were doing a treaty to allow them to pass through the Krill space, just as a test thing. And the testing, they had to go around a long way, and they asked why they couldn't go through, and they says that's the place where demons are, because they take, and it's all about a species that take over a body and adapt it. So, but it was okay. Hi, John. It was okay.
John.
It wasn't as good as last week, and yet last week was okay as well. But it was certainly better than this one. I think it was just because this one would have worked better if it was around Halloween. So because you'd have been more forgiven, because it was almost like a parody of a ghost story, but it was not played as a parody, if you know what I mean. So it would be like taking the sci-fi genre and putting a bit of a ghost story spin on it. So you would have got
I think that might have been the original idea. Again, I haven't seen it, but it might have been the original idea. And yet again, we now have all these streaming services. If you want to watch a Halloween thingy, whether it's a TV episodes or a film or whatever, you can actually just spin it up around Halloween, even though it was released.
Yes, but I think if it had been released at the time, people would have a better feel for it. It'd be like watching the very first Halloween. If you watched that in January, you might not revisit it the same way that when you watched it when it came out at Halloween, because it was a Halloween movie around Halloween. It's like watching a Christmas movie. I like White Christmas, but I think if I'd watched it in August, it wouldn't have the same.
Well, it is a tricky thing there. For me, having grown up north of the Arctic Circle in Sweden, when the Halloween films came out, there was no Halloweens in the middle of the forest. It was like we were lucky enough to have a cinema with like 7 seats. And I'm talking back in the 80s, early 90s, where it's like it's literally the cinema is 7 seats and you can't even get popcorn.
Yeah, it was just one of those ones that I thought it could have actually been a bit better. And I think the reason I think it didn't work for me was because it had the feeling of a Halloween special that didn't quite work out of sequence. Yeah, I mean, I could watch a Halloween episode of Buffy if I'm watching the whole season. I know it was filmed and probably broadcast at it, so I'm a bit more forgiving. But because this is the first time it's been broadcast, who's playing something or something running in the background? Fan or something again?
It's just me aircon, sorry.
Yeah, but at least we know. But the thing is, if you're watching something you know was broadcast initially at Halloween and you're rewatching it, that's fine. But if you're watching it for the first time and it's broadcast and it's got the Halloween feel and it's nowhere near Halloween, it sort of doesn't quite work. You're probably best waiting to see it. If you get a chance to watch it, you'll see what I mean about the Halloween feel, but certain things didn't quite work because you're not as forgiving because it's not around the Halloween time. Whereas rewatching it, it's not an issue because you know it's already been on, but if it's designed around Halloween and it's not Halloween, you're less forgiving. That's all I'm saying. If you watch this episode, there's bits and pieces in it I thought it doesn't quite make sense. Like they have a power outage and there's a few of them walking around and there's not a single other member of the crew. So they're basically giving it the freaky, you're alone, so you're going through the corridors, which are completely empty and completely dark, to give it that feel. But where are all the crew? Wouldn't they actually be the crew members walking about like you would see during the when the light was on? and it's that feeling. That's what I'm saying. Work, because it's not done during a time when you know they're trying to do it specifically, and it's things like that. It just doesn't work when it's out of sequence, and to me, it's out of sequence because it's not. It's filmed as a Halloween, but it doesn't. So it's one of those things. You need to see you need to watch it so you can understand and have a look for, like, when you do watch it, look for the bits when the doctor's going to look for our kids, or our kids are going to look for him, or the security's out looking, or the nurse is out looking for a patient. Look how there's nobody at all in any of the corridors, and it just doesn't work. Whereas if it was meant to be a homage to a Halloween theme one, you could let it away with it, and that's the problem. But that's me just moaning about it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was still better than anything else that's out there. It still has its issues, I think.
It's possible I can bring up that Strange New World about the episode I've just watched recently. There's like a sort of you ever seen Tortured Children of the Earth?
Yes, the one with Peter Capaldi's the scapegoat.
Yeah.
The
episodes they've had so far for how can this? It had sort of a Children of the Earth type of vibe to it, because you had this kid who had to be a part of this machine, right? And he was like the chosen one and everything. And what it was is that the machine used this other kid, and this other kid's like outdone his use. And then when you saw the corpse of this kid, I thought, they've nicked the plot from Children of the Earth for this part. Because
it's very similar to the Babylon 5.
Yeah.
The Great Machine. It needed a caretaker.
Yeah.
And it's a similar idea as that. They always have. I always find it silly that people automatically assume that there's going to be all these great things, but they're going to be show how advanced they are by having a human component or a living component to make it work. And it's almost a case of, really, it's just an excuse to have somebody there.
It feels like cheap framework when they build stories like that.
Yeah. A living component, so so it has to have somebody, so somebody has to be dragged into it, or somebody has to willingly go into it, and it's somebody that's dying who's willingly get into it and it'll save them, or it'll just to show how evil this culture was by having a living being tortured throughout eternity because they need them as part of it. Is their tropes nowadays. When I initially did it, it wasn't, but I think it's now become so tropish. It's an easy way to say, right, we want to show how evil this culture was and why it died, so we'll have a human component. Really? Is that the way you're actually going to do that? It basically, because we threw a kid in, shows you how evil we were. It's that aspect of it, and I think sometimes they do that.
With the 4, 5, 6 in Children of the Earth, it wasn't a component; it was just a drug for them. And
but that's what I'm saying. They needed the human component, as in that for the drug. That's what I mean. So it's a way to show, no, these are not very nice beings. It's like Soylent Green.
Oh yes.
Everything else is fine until the guy goes on and goes, "It's people." So
I know.
I was on mute, but as soon as you mentioned it, I was just going, "It's people."
But that's the aspect of it. It's a case of no matter what the aliens did, we're going to show you how evil they are because they eat people. You mean like you eat animals? We don't have an issue eating animals. However, if somebody used the humans as a food source, we're meant to actually say they're evil.
Mm.
I mean, if a tiger jumped out and ate you, to me, the tiger's no evil. It's just it's a hunter. It just so happened that you actually got caught.
Well, so just so happened that you're prey.
Uh-huh.
And I think humans forget that because we are.
We're at the top of the food
animal
chain
kingdom,
because of
human is not
technology,
on
but
top
that
of
is it. We're only because of technology.
Yeah, because of our technology, that's why we are apex. But we're not really apex one-on-one.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're at the top, but we're not the apex.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we're at the top because of technology, nothing else.
Exactly.
If it was down to one-on-one, we'd actually drop quite low on that list.
I mean, a spider this size will defeat me because I will just go other direction.
But the thing
Yes,
is,
I'll be brave every now and then.
And then suddenly you're down anyway. I mean,
Exactly.
there's so many creatures out there, and it's technology that keeps us in top. But
any one of you remember Marvin from Warner Brothers, Animaniacs, Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, Marvin,
where he has the ray gun.
Yes.
That would be me against the spider. If I had a ray gun, I would happily blow half my apartment to smithereens just to get rid of one of them.
Oh, I'm the type of person I would get that the isotope you put in the centre of your room, and it actually gives off that thing. It doesn't do any damage except give you the tingles, but it gives the tingles to everything, which means spiders and all that avoid it. So I would have that in the centre of my house, so all the spiders would go whoop away. So hey, I'm okay with that. I might get a wee itchy and I feel whoop, but I'm okay with that. I'm fine, no problem, because there's no spiders.
Yeah, I'm currently Grandpasaurus, not Grumpysaurus.
Grumpysaurus, grumpy old bugger. It's not quite the Jurassic Park, the one-eyed dinosaur. Do you think Saurus? It's a Grandpasaurus. I was laughing because when I got this, I got a birthday present from my grandson, which was a mug. It says Grandosaurus. And I thought, yeah, the two of us got a great taste. Two of us got the same stuff for me. Yay! Not that I'm narcissistic or anything like that, but me.
Really? You don't say.
Aye. So I was hoping to get my 2 Ash figures, but it'll be next week. And unfortunately, ladies and gents, I'll tell you now, I'm at an engagement next week, next Saturday, so I'll not be here next Saturday.
Oh, you're running Saturday, away, you coward.
Yes, I've got a family thing. I've not seen any of my family for over a year and a half, so I'm going to go to the engagement so I can see them all.
Fair enough. You do need to say hello to family every now and then.
Yeah, once in a blue moon. Need to see them all. Got a couple of apologies to say, because the last time they saw me, I was grumpy because it was at my dad's funeral, and basically when somebody was trying to be funny, I just got annoyed. It's the type of thing my dad would have done. He would have actually just been he would have been sarcastic and stuff like that, but I was a wee bit emotional, so I've got a couple of apologies to say.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Grumpy. I'm not always that grumpy. But I got some good DVDs. I got a big pile of them sitting here for the pick.
It was slim pickings up until literally the last second this afternoon.
No, see, I
went in to watch them, and they had, believe it or not, 10 massive boxes. We're talking at least a cubic meter each, and they had 10 of them just stacked on top of each other. And because I was in a rush, I was just going through the top 2 because it was like 5 stacked on the same. But I found 10, but there are some double collections and everything in there.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13 here. I
believe I had 12 discs in total.
Aye, well, this is 13 this is 13 packs, or 13 sleeves like that. So, but I got a lot more, but they're things like part of my TV collection, so it's a different season. So I never include them. I always just file them away with all the ones that are already done. So I do. So there's no point actually saying I've got season 2 now, I've got season 4 now, I've got season 6 now. I've already said that I've got that one. So anytime I get another one, it just goes added in. But 13 movies. This is all. I think it's all movies. There's some really good ones. There's some fantastic ones. And I don't think there's any TV shows. Oh, there is one TV show. One TV show.
Ricky Fulton.
Ricky Fulton, Reverend I Am Jolly. I love Ricky. The only reason I showed that one instead of Out With Me because 13's an unlucky number. So I'll show my TV show one. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Ricky Fulton's Reverend I Am Jolly. I love Ricky. Ricky's the man. And his Reverend I Am Jolly is just superb. So that's the only reason I picked that one, because when I counted it and there's 13, it's unlucky. Don't want to go down that route. Unlucky for some.
I always do it because it's cheeky. Whenever Friday the 13th comes around, here in UK we have the Euro Millions. It's a draw on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Mm-hmm. I always play on a Friday the 13th and basically just get my money back. Costs £2.50 to play. Minimum win if you match 2 is £2.50 back.
Yeah, I've not played that since they actually upped the price. £1 here and there was nothing, but constantly putting the prices up. Yeah, no,
it doesn't work.
I know it, because if you got you go into your pocket, you got £1, you go, I'll just get a lottery ticket. Now, if you go into your pocket, you got £1, you need to put 2.5 times that amount just to get a ticket. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically that's 2 bottles of Diet Iron Brew.
Well, I don't really count things in Iron Brew, but I do count things in other, shall we say, currencies, not just money. It's like, do I need to spend 10 quid on this really nice collectible toys, or could I actually have some really nice food?
Yep. That's the thing. It's a case of what do we want and when do we want it?
Well, we want it now.
Exactly. And we want everything now.
Yes.
So, but that's the thing. So I've not actually watched any movies this week, which is unusual because I normally throw a couple of movies in here and there as I'm going through. But for some reason, I just got caught up with numbers and I just threw that. There was even the one with Will Wheaton in the comic book.
Are we talking Numbers, the TV show?
Yes.
I actually liked it because the two main guys, the FBI dude and the professor or whatever it is at the university.
Charles Epps and Don Epps.
Yeah, they play really, really well off each other.
They do, and I like the one who is in it who played Renfield in Dead and Loving It. This guy's here.
It's this
guy here. That's the episode. That's part of the episode I'm on just now. He played Renfield in the.
Oh no, you're on about because he was in other films as well.
Yeah, it was the one with Leslie Nielsen as the Dracula. He played Renfield too, and he was hilarious.
Dracula didn't love in it.
Yeah, and he was absolutely amazing as Renfield. He just played the nutcase. In this one, there's times he's actually really good, but there's a couple of times his character's annoying.
Well, sad thing about that actor, because the only role he seems to be cast as is a very neurotic, like, it's extreme, it's bipolar, always and all the time.
He was was he not in Ally McBeal?
He was in Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
And
I vaguely remember it
a
because I
lot
never
slimmer
watched
back
Ally
then.
McBeal. I never watched it, but he played the high class lawyer, one of the top lawyers in it.
Yeah.
He was a skilled lawyer in that, but that was more down to David E. Whatever his name is, because there's something I've been not binge watching, but a couple episodes here and there. It's Boston Legal, because it has James Spader and William Shatner, and it's a laugh and a half every minute, because there's always something over the top and everything. And I'll give this out. William Shatner is literally playing Donald Trump, but as a lawyer, CEO of a company in Boston for a law firm. And trust me, he's redneck, conservative, gun-toting, shoot first, ask questions later. He's a womanizer. It is just such a fantastic, fun thing to watch, because you have to literally stand back. You know that, yes, he's politically supposed to be conservative, right-wing, da-da-da, but it is just how much fun he has playing that role. And James Spader is liberal, more in the middle, but you also have a counterpoint, although she's not really left-wing. You have Candice Bergen. And William Shatner and Candice Bergen's characters have had shall we say, Shatner say it's a torrid past. She says it's a sordid past. It's very clever, and the dynamic between even smaller characters. My favorite isn't William Shatner or James Spader. It is a guy that has a nickname called Hans, because he's on the Asperger autism spectrum. So he cannot, he's struggling, and he's always putting his hands on his thighs when he speaks or presents. He's a brilliant lawyer. His role is, he's an amazing lawyer. It's just that he doesn't present well in social scenarios. And that is his entire uphill battle. And it's played so great. So great. Well, and then actually, in the mix, they've thrown in, I keep forgetting what his name is, but he's very chisel-jawed. He's ex-Marine, sniper, super trained, warrior soldier, muscular, basically the jock, but he's having no grounds whatsoever. He's always the one that's being fooled and like kicked to the corner, even though he has that. I should win this. And it's like, nope. The rest of the guys is just, but he's brilliant also in his role. He really is. Mark Valley, I think, is the actor's name.
Well, anyway, the guy you were talking about, Peter McNichol.
Peter McNichol, yeah, that's the one from Ally McBeal.
Ghostbusters 2 he was in.
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't he in the first one? No, that's Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis played that role, not that character, that role.
Zool.
Are you a god? No, he played Dr. Janice Pohar. Something to do with the art gallery.
Oh yes, it is.
He played a Renfield character again.
Yeah.
To the painting. Yeah. He became his Renfield.
Yeah. However, he's most famous for Dragon Slayer. Do you remember that film?
No.
You don't remember Dragon Slayer?
No. Let's see. I might have Dragon Slayer.
I'm trying to remember that, but all I can think of is like Dragon Dungeon or Dungeon Trap or whatever it was called.
Dragon Slayer, Peter McNichol, Caitlin Clark. I've not seen that.
You never seen it? You should give it a watch.
I think so. Ralph Richardson's in it.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't recognise that at all. Ian McDermott as well. I don't think I've seen that one.
It was a film. It was a great film for its time.
I don't think I've seen it. Let's see if I've got it on my list. Well, we're here. I'm actually going through catalogue and everything, so Dragon Slayer, Dragon Wars. No, I don't have Dragon Slayer.
Oh, do you want to have a quick look ski at the trailer?
Oh, basically, he plays he plays an apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've definitely not seen that one.
Bring up the trailer if you want.
Alright, hold on a sec. Just need to get it on. Right, this is the trailer, so let's get it back to the beginning. So I'm going to share the screen with audio. Right, so this is it here. This is the trailer for Dragon Slayer. I've definitely not seen this.
It is a fantastic film.
There's a great task waiting to be done. No doubt you've heard of our trouble at home.
A dragon, fire and stench. It is evil. Pure and simple.
You want me to do battle with that?
Behold, for I am chosen, I shall die that many may live.
Twice each year, the king selects a new victim. Chosen by lot, girls, virgins.
Your king made a pact with a monster.
But your children will die. Only a few. That's how you rule.
Blacksmith, you have forged a weapon.
I accept no other on this earth.
Trailer don't do it justice, but when you watch the entire film.
I've definitely not seen that one at all.
Watch when you can.
Something I'll need to look out for, but definitely not seen that one. There you go. It's another movie, and you're talking about what, 1981?
Oh yes. Well, I remember watching it when you was shown on the TV.
Don't recognise it at all. And if I have seen it, it was so long ago. It's gone, forgotten. Now, there you go. No, to me, it's always Dead and Loving It. I remember him from.
Yeah.
I remember the Enfield character, and that's what, to me, he stands out as. So
You see, it's like you have a starring role in the film, and then you just go to secondary characters all the way through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll need to see if I can get a hold of that. I'll need to look around. Same idea. It's It's just another one on the list of when I'm searching for movies in the charity shops. I could buy them on eBay, but I don't like doing that. Like, for instance, there's one that I got from my wish list today, picked it up today, which I was surprised at. I've got things like for my wife, like Footloose. She wants to see that. Could buy it, but she knows I like The Hunt, so I've got a number of movies that I'm looking for. There's other ones that I see and I pick up, no problem. However, I picked up a couple that were on my wish list, and I'm very happy with those ones. But unfortunately, that's another one to be added to my wish list. And they'll be on the more expensive wish list because they're harder to get. A lot of the John Wayne ones, you see them, and they're difficult to get because they're sold. As soon as they come in, people actually put them on under classics. So because the movies are sold, which is weird.
But my go-to charity shop has started doing that because they talk to me because they know I come in once a week, and this is let's talk Geeky 40. So for the last 40 weeks, they've been used to me coming in on a Friday evening or a Saturday morning, and they go, it's like, oh, would you ever buy this? And it's like, nope. I already have a copy of this and everything, and they actually put it to the side and it's just going, it's like, we might actually throw this away if we can. And they bring out the boxes where it's, hey, you might be interested in these because we think you may not have them. And I can always pick up at least 10 new items. But I have started reaching that limit. I need to put it into a spreadsheet. It's like, do I have this? Do I not have this? And I just love the physical thingy. And I've been tempted to try and figure out, can I actually use the physical copies somehow and load it into a DVD player with like controlling it from my computer? So it's like literally grabbing the disc, open the box, and just go. It's like, yep, it's loaded, ready to play. Go ahead. But it's all part and parcel of my new studio setup that will be coming in the next, hopefully this month. But boy, did it cost me. It cost me. And I still need to buy some shelving units, but there will be a little bit of change to the backdrop in the coming days, I would say.
Mine was all when I initially set up getting a fairly decent camera, because I went through about 4 different cameras. If you look at my early stuff, you see how blurry the old cameras were. A decent mic, so this is my 3rd mic, I think. Getting StreamYards and bits and pieces just so everything was working. It was an initial outlay, but thankfully it's all working. I would like to get a better camera because it's fine from a bit of a distance, but as soon as you get close up, it gets a wee bit blurry.
Exactly.
Like for instance, if you go down that movie, right? As soon as you go into that, you can sort of barely see the Christmas roasting.
Yes.
But it's blurred. So the camera's okay, considering it can read the certain words in that. And obviously,
sort of part and parcel of what my plan is. It's sort of part and parcel, because I will still, this poor little boy that I paid like $9.99 for, it's overheating. It's definitely at the last leg. But I think if I use it sparingly and put it on like a top down, so I just put, rather than just holding up a disc, I just put it on the table and the camera is like aimed downwards.
Yeah.
It might work for that. And I will have a MacBook keyboard and everything coming.
I've got one of those. Here, it's here. Set up. It's attached to the other side, so I can set it, but I found that this is starting to be blurred as well. So
yeah,
I'm thinking about getting another one just so it can sit doing an overhead. But it's one of those things. What do I do? Do I get another camera or do I just use my phone and just record it? So it's not live anything I'm over because my phone's got a better quality.
Yeah, I looked into that, but there is too much like applications and everything to get your smartphone to do that job for you.
Mm-hmm.
It would work if that's the only thing you got, but if you do have like a proper USB camera, a webcam, whatever you want to call it, that is usually better because it doesn't take up too much heat and doesn't run out of battery. And
yeah, the thing is, I can set that up to actually, so I've got the two cameras running at the exact same time via my OBS studio, and it's fairly straightforward. However, the quality in that one is okay from a distance, but as soon as it tries to focus on something, then that's when you see the blur, and that's the problem.
when it becomes like that. But I'm not going to reveal it yet, but because that's part of my pick of the week. But I haven't even had time to sort out the pick of the week, so there's like sticky labels and all of that I need to get done and dusted.
Yep. Mine's are all sitting there, ready to go. So they are.
Mine aren't, but I will try and start sorting them out. So what's else been going on this week?
Not really a lot. That's not even actually. Because I've been watching numbers, I've not watched as many YouTube as I normally do. Yeah. And it's one of those ones you get caught up in something and things fall by the wayside. So I've not even caught up. Mind you saying that, normally the things that I would watch are the bigger channels, maybe reviewing certain thing. But truthfully, I don't care about Kenobi, so I've not been watching any reviews because I've had zero interest about it. So even from episode 1, I've not watched any of the reviews. Oh, do you know what I nearly picked up today? I saw in Asda they're doing Star Wars retro figures, and one of them was Cara Dune.
Really? They're literally allowed to still sell
a Cara Dune retro figure, but the figure was about that size. So it was like the 3-inch figure. And it did not look like her, but it looked like you would the type of toys you would have got in the 80s. So it's in a car that's and it's classed as, it's called Retro Toys, and it's Cara Dune. I was tempted to pick it up, but for a wee toy that size, they were looking for a tenner. And it didn't even look like Cara Dune.
If I'm getting a Cara Dune, it's going to be at the minimum of 1/6 or a even
I'm
bigger
okay if I got
statue.
a Cara Dune this size, as long as it looks like Cara Dune, and that's the difference. This one,
yes, I'll have to concede that if it's a Cara Dune figure, it has to look like her. It cannot be any sort of clothes, because
this one basically considering the size of the figure. So you're talking about a figure was like this size, and the face, it could have been anybody.
Well, my flashy part, as you know, and I swore to myself that that will not be brought up this stream, but Flash Gordon that I got in that limited edition, it resembles Flash Gordon, Sam J. Jones, but not really. It's close enough to be acceptable, but close enough to be worth £200? No.
Yeah, whereas if you look at the Big Chief Dr. No, that looks like Dr. No.
Yeah.
And the Big Chief Sean Connery looks like Sean Connery. The Big Chief Laurel and Hardy,
yep.
Based on what I've seen on the pictures, until I see them close up, thingy, so
You-
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember I told you about my Laurel and Hardy that came through the post, and one of them was, but the two of them were broken. I managed to repair the Oliver Hardy, but the Stan Laurel's foot is smashed. I got a
Ooh.
price to replace it if I wanted to. £68
Ooh, crap.
just for to replace the foot because it's ceramic.
Yeah.
Well, you saw my Turtles collection,
Mhm.
and Raphael came with only one side. And I was told you have to contact the original company. I sent them an email 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago. They have not responded because it's only allowed to be sold in the US, not in the UK.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I can actually make do with it because he only really needs one side. I want to have like a grip or a pose where he's.
And the thing is, if you really needed to, you get somebody that's got a 3D printer.
Exactly, and that is the path I'm exploring right now. I do have my own, but I have a feeling it is not, shall we say, small print efficient enough. I could print the largest set and then sit with like a nail file and literally just whittle it down until it gets to the correct proportions. But I'm not sure that that's going to be worth like 20 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
But again, I'm happy I got the collection. It's something that wasn't allowed to be sold outside of US. I got a hold of Splinter, Shredder, Leo, Don, Mikey, and Raph. And they're just as well made as my Flashy Ming.
Yeah. There's only 3 more you need to complete that set.
Oh, we need Bebop and
Rocksteady and one of the clan.
Oh,
and the big brainy boy.
And one of the clan as well, yeah.
Oh, that makes it 4. I never really thought of it, but a Foot
Well, you
Clan.
need
But
April. You need
if I
April
get
as
the
well, I
Foot Clan
suppose.
soldiers, I would like 6 or 8 of them, because if you remember when Turtle comes into that laboratory and they're fighting all of them with the big boy who's in charge. He's going, ninja, vanish, kaboom. There's like 20 of them in the background.
Yeah. Well, if you were going to even just getting it, you would definitely need one of the clan. Rocksteady, Bebop, and April.
Yeah, I've actually not seen a statue of April or
I've not
even
seen
a
one of
1/6.
April. But
Because that would be a super generic figure. It's basically
Yeah.
just a cute redhead in a yellow jumpsuit.
But that's what I'm saying. Within the same range, you would need to get them if they were going for a complete set. But do you know who would know if you can get them? Right, who is he?
I'm absolutely certain that if you look at the backdrop of Gary's studio, he would definitely have multiple copies.
No, it basically. I'm just giving me 2 secs because there's one guy who I watch a lot of his stuff, and I'm just trying to remember his name. It's really terrible. It's actually he's got a lot of the turtles in the background, and it's going to annoy me now. I actually, as soon as I see it, I'll go, "Oh, that was what it was." Where is he? Where is he? I'm just looking through all my lists. And it's not Home Media, it's not that one. It's not the 70s rock. Where is he? Come on. Is it Nerd something or other?
The Nerd Polar.
Right. See, normally I could see it at a glance, and it's unless I've been right past, I must have been past it. No, it's not. It's Waterloo uncovered. It must be earlier. It must be at the top because it's one
It
I
is.
visit quite regularly.
I don't mean it to be like a negative thing to people, but it's just so much coming out of all the big ones, shall we say. So we have Purple, and holy crap, she's managing to get some really serious guests to join. And I'm just going like, okay, add that to my wish list, add that to my to buy list
Yeah.
in the future. And I was good. Like, I'm just trying to save money over here.
Aren't we all trying to save money, but it never works. The save never
Yes.
works. I'm actually just going through my list of the last views because I watched. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Do you know that's really annoying me now? I can't actually find him, and I'm thinking, has he had his channel blocked?
That's another thing we're unfortunately having to deal with, which is
Yes, exactly.
really.
Because he is when he's talking about Doctor Who and stuff like that. He basically tells it how he thinks, and that's fine. That's the way you should do it. But the fact is, because of someone's opinion, they actually turn around and say, "Nope, you're not allowed to have that opinion because it's not the same as ours." And just try to actually find them on my lists. It's nerd something. I'm sure it's nerd something or other.
About Nerdrotic?
No, it's a Nerd Polar or something like that. I think I've seen what it is.
Aye,
Yeah, but
because behind him he's got all the turtles.
yeah.
And it's just one of these things. I'm hunting through my lists, but when was the last time he actually put something out? Because as soon as I see his icon, I'll know exactly what it is. And that's the problem. It's trying to see his icon, and his icon's not appearing. And normally he puts something out every day or so. So why it's not actually showing up on my list? Does that mean his account's been actually switched off?
Let's hope he hasn't.
Right, come on. Anybody remember what his name is? No, it's definitely not showing up on my list, and I'm going back 4 days, and he's not had anything uploaded in those 4 days, which is highly unusual. Because normally every day or so. I think it's usually every day, but there's occasionally it's every second day. But I'm going back 4 or 5 days, and it's no showing up. So why the hell's that? That's really annoying me. So I need to actually check. I might as well have to go through my full list of users. Because I always used to get the Nerd Father and his icons mixed up because it was very similar. There was a very similar look to them. So I just can't see it. It's really, really terrible. It's not hats off. No. No. I can't find it. I think he's actually been scrubbed, which means if his channel's been cut off, because I don't think he's changed his. He's definitely not updated his logo because I can't find it at all. Oh dear, I think he's actually been. No, that's not. No, it's definitely no that one. So I've been through all my ones that I subscribe to, and he's no there. So I'm wondering if he's been blocked. He's been actually had his account shut down. So No,
Something I've noticed since the Elon Musk saga around Twitter, I'm suddenly getting a crap ton of spam bot accounts following my.
The problem is, notice actually you're getting, it's not only spam bot, you're getting all these females
Yes,
following
spam
you
bot,
just
spam
because you're
bots.
male, and assume you're going to follow them back, which I just find hilarious. Oh, you're male, so you must follow me because no.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm fairly decent with Photoshop myself, and it's like if all you have is a lot of Photoshop images of yourself, I'm not following you back.
Even if they're not photoshopped images of yourself, I don't care enough. It's not why I'm actually on these systems. They're not for anything like that. I just wish I could actually find that channel. It's really annoying me now. You know how when that happens. So what happened? Going to turn that bloody thing off.
I am going to turn the bloody thing off for a little while. It's what you call the temperature gauge on it.
I know it's basically. I used to have one sitting in mine, and it is one of those things you forget about it and you don't even notice it because you're used to it. But it's when you're actually on, because I had to switch mine off before I get rid of it, and it was because I didn't even notice it. It was just something that's in the background, and then suddenly, think.
Well, the pretty thing is, I want to get one of those covers for the microphone, so I can, have it cuts out the background noise.
Yeah.
And it just detects on my voice instead. Wouldn't mind having one of those. Just trying to get hold of one. That's the problem.
Yeah. I must admit, I can't find this guy. It's just really annoying me. I'm even looking for some of the stuff that he used to do to see if I can actually find it. I would need to go through my history actually on my machine. So can I do that? I'll need to actually find them. And if somebody could remind me, basically, like behind me, his was all Ninja Turtles. It was all Ninja Turtle figures. Everything he had behind him. And he had a lot, shall we say. It's not the Nerporeal life form. I know it's not that one, but it's something like that. The nerd something. It's not the nerdist. I know that much. Because I would recognise, because I'm subscribed to the nerdist as well. And the problem is trying to actually remember. It's just annoying. It's so annoying when something like that happens. You actually remember you've got the image, you've got the name, but for some reason they're just not tying up. Near there. And I'm just hoping he's actually not changed any of his icons. Because he's no, because I've got a lot on my channel that I do what Sanctuary of Geeks. He's changed his icon. Sanctuary of Geeks.
Blimey.
Aye, the Sanctuary of Geeks. Hold on, I'm just going to fire this up because I know you'll not actually mind me showing this because it's only just the picture behind him. I just want to get right. So there, it's there. He's changed his icon. That's why I couldn't find him. Right, so this is his stuff. Hold on a sec. Right.
Stream.
Right. So wait to see this. This is just so you can actually see his backdrop. Look. Shredder, and it's
basically I love that Shredder.
Yeah, I mean, it's look at his Funko Pops there as well. It's all Ninja Turtles.
Turtle overload
Yeah,
or
bobble
what?
heads and everything.
Yeah, he's got them all basically. So he would be able to tell you if you can get. So Sanctuary of Geeks, he's changed his icon. That's why I couldn't find him. That's why I couldn't find him. But I watch his channel a lot, and he's got a lot of stuff behind him, and it's all turtles. He's a big turtle fan, so he has. So you need to check him out, Jim. He does some of his channels. A couple of his streams are about the turtles, and he's got a lot of turtle stuff. All
That
different
definitely
stuff.
sounds like a good
He's
channel.
definitely got in the background. He definitely has because if you look at that image, right? If I bring that image back up, right there, see it?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like
April O'Neil. Yeah, it's April
that
O'Neil.
looks like April. So that's what I'm saying. So there is some figures, but as you can see, he's got all different sizes. Even here, he's got the retro ones still in their cards and everything. You know what I mean? He's just got them all over. But that's what I'm saying. That looks like April. So I'm assuming you would be able to get an April in different formats.
Yeah, you probably have to hunt for it, but there was a lot of still frames as
so,
well. And
so there's someone who will be able to actually tell you. So Sanctuary of Geeks, give him a go, and actually even you can ask him questions about where you can get. But he's got a lot, as you can see behind him. You look at some of his early stuff. It's sometimes he's got his light on and it's clear in the background. But Sanctuary of Geeks, I knew it was there. I just couldn't remember it. He's changed his icon since the last time. His icon wasn't dark. There it was. So that's where it confused me. As soon as I actually started reading rather than actually just looking for pictures. It's amazing what happens when you actually start reading things. Right, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. So I've got 12 DVDs and nothing else.
I've only got one. One Blu-ray.
So who wants to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Right, okay.
So I've only got the one.
Okay.
So
I'll take second then.
okay, I went down to my local Wesleys today to take advantage of their Blu-rays, and for £7 I got
Speed.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Been after this movie.
As soon as you bought it, you had to rush home and not stop.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's true.
and not drop below a certain speed limit.
On the push bike, yeah.
Oh, I think that would be probably the most British kind of humor TV show or satire ever made. Someone on a push bike. It's like you can literally just jump off and just let it run down the road.
Well, Father Ted done an absolute cracker of an episode.
Aye, the one with the milk float.
Milk float, yeah.
Yeah. That was fun.
He could have stepped off any time.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I remember the Father Ted one. But Speed's actually not too bad, actually.
Yeah.
Once it went by Speed 1, Speed 2, oh, God.
Well, I listened to the audio commentary earlier from the writer and the producer, and they said they had nothing to do with Speed 2.
I know.
It was nothing to do, but the writer was having a moan in the director in the commentary. He turned around and said, the guy who wrote Speed 2 went on a cruise, right? For 2 weeks just to get inspiration. And the writer of the first film turned around and said, and what did I do? I just write a film about a bus.
And that's the thing, you basically, go on a cruise and get inspiration. They come back and say, what's your inspiration? Well, there's this guy in a cruise
Yeah.
All right. So basically, you wrote about. Let me think. What vehicle will I be on? A cruise ship. A cruise ship. And it's all my case of no intelligence, just basically write what you see.
To me, with Speed 2, it's how can a cruise ship go fast? It's not really going anywhere on a speed. It's not a speedboat, for Christ's sake.
I know.
It shouldn't have been called Speed 2 in the first place.
Yeah. And basically, the cruise ship, all they do is they actually put it in a circle, just in the middle of the ocean, just going round in a circle. And then as they're doing that, people get into wee boats and.
Yeah. But this film, this is more excellent because you can understand, especially with Dennis Hopper's performance in it.
Yep. It was basically, it was smartly done.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I'll tell you something, this what kicked off Keanu Reeves' action film career in a way. If it wasn't for this film, he wouldn't have done Johnny Mnemonic or The Matrix or John Wick.
Yep. I think that this is a Point Blank and all that kind of era. Yeah.
That is one of my picks. John Wick 1 and 2. So it was. But it just goes to show, see, they're good movies. 1 and 2, I was no as keen in 3.
Number one, you can understand because it was a dog.
Yes.
Number 2 was, he had to stop the guy.
Get a bit of payback. But
number 3,
I preferred 1 and 2. So when I saw the 2 of them, I thought, yep, I'll have that. So that was one of the movies I picked up, and it's just because you were mentioning Keanu Reeves action movies.
Well, number 4 is in production at the moment because of the ending of number 3.
Yeah, I'm not interested in 4. I wasn't really interested in 3 either.
But I know they've got a TV series based around John Wick called The Continental that's supposed to be coming. But
which means they'll basically retcon everything. People will be allowed to have guns in the Continental. They'll be allowed.
I don't know the original concept.
You can guarantee they'll change everything. They always do.
Yeah.
So a woman will come in and she'll have guns in her room, and people will actually not get annoyed with that, or there'll be things that the movies have said you're not allowed to do this, and she'll be okay doing it because. And that's the problem with it. They just. The people who write it don't watch the movies, so they just write it the way they think it should be, nothing to do with the movies.
The original
no clue on how to actually build the story around it. Yeah, it's so sad.
Well, I'm going to say the original idea for the Continental was something to do with the assassins who keep turning up in each episode, and it would be based around that assassin.
Yeah,
they're just staying at the Continental. And you just follow that assassin for the entire episode. And it's like, which assassin's going to turn up that week? But I don't know if they're going to go with that idea.
Yes, but you can guarantee there'll be somebody will kill somebody in the Continental, and you'll see them 3 weeks later in the Continental again as if nothing had happened. It's just because these guys, the people who are writing this stuff, think they're being clever. We'll do it this way, so they'll not really. John Wick managed to actually get caught, and considering his skill level, and yet you can guarantee somebody else will do it and not get caught because they're being smart.
To me, with John Wick, the first film, I think he should have stood as a standalone.
But see, the thing is, most first movies, to me, are standalones. They only get it because they're successful, and somebody says, "We need another one." Okay, well, somebody says this drop line, we could use that for the next movie. And that's when... Unless there's a set of things like they've got an idea of continuing the story. I hate the way they do it. Like, for instance, Lord of the Rings. That is such a big book, I could understand why they split it into 3. However, The Hobbit, where they expanded it into 3 movies, is wrong. because it made no sense. Whereas there's some things out there you think, I can understand why they want to split it. Dune, for instance, I'm not interested in watching half a movie, so I'm not bothered about it. But I can understand why they did it, because it's such a large book. They want to get as much of it. But to me, they should actually have the two movies being done at the same time and then split it into two, so people know it's already been filmed, it's already finished. It might not come out for another year, but it's already done. And that's the problem. I'm not interested in watching a movie hoping they're going to do the next one, or hoping it's successful enough that they're going to do another movie. I would rather they actually did the two movies together, like Back to the Future 2 and 3 were filmed back to back, because they knew that's what they wanted to do. So they did. And to me, that worked, because you knew when they finished in two, you didn't, it wasn't a case of, are they going to film it? They've already filmed it. It's just going to have to wait until it comes out. Not an issue, because you know it's already done. Whereas Dune, they filmed the first half, hoping it will be successful enough that they get the money to film the second half. And to me, that's not the way I want to watch a movie.
Let's hope they're going to do Dune Part 3 then.
Yeah, and you can guarantee they'll split it into 3 or 4 or something like that, because, well, why only do one movie if that man's made that amount? Why don't we split it into 2 or 3 other movies? We'll get a lot more money.
Yeah. It's like with Avatar, because we've got the sequel coming out soon.
There's another one, a sequel of something that nobody wanted at the time and certainly don't want to now.
That could have worked. That is like a standalone in a way, but now it's just, over the top. Let's film 3 movies.
Yeah.
Apparently, he wanted to do 5 on top or something.
It's typical. Yeah. Right. Okay. What have you got, Jim? Then, Jim. What have you got? Or do you want me to bounce with it?
Oh, you got me double. Let me just set up the light so that it looks better when I show the stuff. So give me a couple of seconds. I'll be right back.
No
I've just
problem.
sorted the stack.
Right. Well, you're doing that, I'll just go to another couple of mines. Picked up that one.
You lucky sod.
The Punisher.
Look.
I like that one. I really like it.
I actually thought this was actually a not too bad one. But then again, anything that John Travolta hammers his way through is always fun.
Yeah. I've got to say, that the Punisher in that was very clever at getting payback.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the torture scene where he's using ice cream or a lollipop.
Yeah.
Just sticks it in the back of the victim, and he's just like,
there is no justice. There is only revenge.
Can I just say something? There was an accident on set on that film because the wrestler Kevin Nash got accidentally stabbed by Thomas Jane.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. And now the camera.
I'll do a whistle-stop tour through mine, because there's nothing really stand out, although there is a theme on a few of the stuff that I picked up, but I'll be blazing through this. Liam Neeson, when he was literally the go-to superhero action star, I have a special set of skills. I will kill you. I don't think, if I'm going to be honest, that I watched this one through and through. I think I might have watched half of it.
I've seen it.
It is a typical Liam Neeson.
Yep.
The next one, and this is something that I was struggling with back in the days when it came out, because I didn't believe in the actor. But now, seeing that there are 7+ or something of it, Tom Cruise Mission Impossible version.
See, I don't like Tom Cruise at all, so I don't really. There's very few things.
I struggle with him, but if I put on a film and it's Tom Cruise, I know it's going to be fast explosions, it's going to be action. It's not really going to be a film to think about. It's just going to be shiny stuff gets blown to smithereens.
There's a couple of movies of his. I put up with, because, and it's not necessarily because he's in it, but I watch them even though he's in it. Like for instance, the day is it Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah, the
That's-
day after tomorrow.
That
No.
was live, repeat, live, die, repeat.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, I loved seeing him dying like 50 times. And it's like,
Yeah, but the thing
this
is,
getting fun.
to me, that was a good movie, despite him. That's the problem with Tom Cruise. I
Yeah.
just don't like anything he's in. And if sometimes there's a movie, like for instance, Risky Business, or the one with
Cocktail.
what was the one he played with Dustin Hoffman?
I know what you... what do you
It's
call it,
like
man?
Mrs. Robinson's, but
No. You're thinking of the.
no, that's Dustin Hoffman, but it is still like he's being mentored by Dustin Hoffman.
No, Dustin Hoffman plays his brother with autism. Is that
Rain Man?
Rain Man.
Right, man, that's it. Yeah.
Rain Man.
Yeah.
So I like those movies, but it's the same again. It's despite Tom Cruise being in them.
Yep. But it's because the story is great and everything, and the supporting actors and all that. Now, again, like I said, it's a quick whistle-stop tour of the stuff that I got. This is an actor that I was just going like, oh. Initially, it's like, he's a waste of space. But he's been in some major production and can carry his own weight.
Leonardo DiCaprio, The Aviator.
Yeah, good film about Howard Hughes.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I actually enjoyed him in Catch Me If You Can.
Oh yeah,
exactly. But
that's
Tom
good.
Hanks is the one lifting that.
Yeah.
And quickly moving on, and I will blaze through this. Let's actually begin because you mentioned Tom Hanks.
The Polar
Early
Express.
for Christmas.
A good Christmas film. I will not be putting it into my DVD anytime soon. But now we're coming on the thematic version. A certain name that has just had a, shall we say, a bump or an up in his profile.
The Lone Ranger. Actually, the movie wasn't great. However,
yeah.
it got
It allowed him to have fun.
It got a couple of thumbs up for me. One, they actually used their Lone Ranger tune.
Yeah.
And I thought, yes, they've used it. And then the bit when he goes, hi ho, Silver, and he goes, nah, don't do that again. I could understand. It was at least they did it, and then they sort of went, no, don't do that again. But at least they actually played homage to it, and I liked that aspect of it. And if it was a cowboy movie, it was an okay movie. But because it was a Lone Ranger one, that's when it's sort of, because they try to put too much out there that didn't quite gel with the Lone Ranger.
Can I just say something about that film? I like the line where he comes out with, there's something wrong with that horse, because you see the horse in the tree or something.
Oh, yeah. It's good, subtle humor in it.
Yeah.
Let's do a double one.
Oh, yes.
And again, I think you can see the theme why I picked them up, because it's...
See, Edward Scissorhands, I picked that up for my wife. She likes that one. And I've never even seen the other one. Never even heard of the other one.
That was Edward Scissorhands was the last film. I forgot his name. It was his last film role.
I don't know.
Okay. The Fly springs to mind. I'm trying to remember his name.
Goldblum?
No, not Goldblum.
No, it wouldn't be him.
Hold on. Vincent Price. Vincent Price.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you're talking about the classic one, right? Okay.
Yeah, Vincent Price last movie. That was Edward Scissorhands.
See, my wife loves Edward Scissorhands, so I've got that one. But the other one I had never even heard of. Gilbert Grape, never heard of it.
It's more a melodramatic thing. He did another one around the same time. Juliette Lewis was the opposing star, or I might be confusing it with that one, but it was actually enjoyable. Not the film that I would go say, I have to see it, but when I saw it, I was like, this wasn't bad at all. It was actually like, hey, I thoroughly enjoyed what it was. But, and as I said, we're a whistle stop tour through the stuff that I have. So the next one, you cannot go wrong.
Zorro.
Mm-hmm.
You
Catherine
cannot go wrong
Zeta-Jones
with
and
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas, I will say this is one of those that I can't fault him. I cannot fault him because he does have an amazing comedy streak to him.
Is that
And
the one where they
another
actually...
one is the film with Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock, where he's playing the bad guy, but he's adding so much humor and comedy into his role. Yes, he's evil. He wants to kill them.
Yeah. See
but
that
he does
Zorro
it so
one?
well.
Is that the one where he has to use the curtains and their bright colours
Yes.
to make an outfit? And because he'd lost his black one.
Yes.
Yes. And I sort of remember that bit. I have seen that one, and it was that bit that stuck out to me. The fact is, they had him actually dressed as with the curtains. It's almost a case of, yeah, you can see that somebody's still trying to create the outfit, but they've not got the right colour, so they just fire it up together just so they don't get seen who they are.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, and I love Zorro. I love I remember watching Zorro every Saturday morning. So I did.
Oh, so did I, the black and white stuff.
Yep.
But that is what I got, because the next two I'm actually saving for the next week.
Well, I could split these in two, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to fly through mine. So, how's that one?
Nice one.
The Outlaw Josie Wells. And
nice.
I like a good Western. I do like Clint Eastwood Westerns, John Wayne Westerns. There is a few Westerns out there, and I love them. And Clint Eastwood does some great stuff. And the Outlaw Josie Wells, the Indian, he is fantastic in it. What was his name? Oh, because you've got Lee Van Cleef in this one, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the. It's not John Vernon. I can't remember, but the bit where he's caught and he's Josie Wells sneaks up on him and he basically goes, "If I was younger, you wouldn't have been able to do that." It's basically, it was just playing into the fact is Indians are expert trackers, and there's Josie Wells tracking him. If I was younger, you wouldn't be able to do that. I just love the Westerns, and Clint Eastwood Westerns are some of the better ones. And how about that one?
Oh, yes, I've got the soundtrack to that.
Yeah, The Untouchables. They put one of yours in the hospital, you put one of theirs in the morgue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Connery.
Shame it's a shame they killed him off from the film.
Yeah.
But that scene where he was in his apartment and he's, what do you call it? You got the camera stalking outside.
Uh-huh.
And you just see, like, going along, next thing you know, he's disappeared. You go, where's he gone? And the next thing you know, the camera just goes into the apartment, or through the window, and then you're just looking round, saying, where is he? And next thing you know, he's there in the background, and you go down the corridor, and you go, he's bloody gone again. Where? It's good how they played that.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and it's the way they did it, I must admit, was really well done. And I picked this one up. I also have the Magnificent Seven, but this was to complete the two, because there was obviously this one, the Guns of the Magnificent Seven afterwards, and not as good as the Magnificent Seven, but still a good, fun movie, and it's a nice, good western. So, as you can see, mine's are westerns or action flicks at the moment, and we'll continue that with Jason Statham,
That's
the
mad.
mechanic Resurrection.
The Resurrection. I didn't know there was a second one. I know the Mechanic.
The Mechanic's the
like
first
the
one.
first
This
one.
is Mechanic Resurrection. This was the second movie. So as I've got both of them, the Jason Statham ones. The Mechanic was that was a remake of the one with who played the Tash? Coburn. No, not Coburn. Oh God. What's his name?
Well, there are a lot of
He
male.
played the vigilante in a lot of the movies. He's got a Tash, and I keep on thinking Chopper for some reason. It's the guy who played Chopper has got the same name.
Bruce
Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Charles Bronson did the original Mechanic, and this was a remake. This is the second movie in the series, but the original Mechanic was a remake of the Charles Bronson one. So it was. So that's another good movie. I quite like that. And I picked this one up. See, when I saw this, I thought, wow, I've not seen this for years. This is from my hometown, Glasgow. Local Hero.
Oh,
I've got the track for that.
We have Mark Knopfler music and everything in this.
Oh, yeah. I've got the original soundtrack to that if you want it.
It's amazing.
In this, my name is mentioned.
Is it?
Yes.
Is your real name?
No, my surname is mentioned, which is an unusual surname for a Glasgow surname, but it's a common surname for a Glasgow surname as well. This is one of the things, because it's set in a school. This basically, my name's mentioned. My name's not is an unusual Scottish name because it's not Scottish, but it's known as a Scottish name for the same reason. You need to know Glasgow, and if I tell you, I'm effectively telling you my name. However, Local Hero, it's mentioned. I love this one. See, when this was out, I saw this in the cinema, and I had it on video.
Yeah, I want to visit the town it was filmed in. Also, you got Peter Capaldi.
Yep. Peter Capaldi's in it, yes.
Knox
oil and gas in Houston is far removed from the North Sea oil it desires, and the sleepy Scottish seaside village it wants to buy and replace with a refinery.
Yeah.
That's basically a Local Hero. But I love this movie. It was just one of those ones I thought.
Can I just mention, I like certain scenes in it where you got Burt Lancaster, who's got a psychiatrist, and his psychiatrist just goes totally bonkers. he's trying to have a go at him on all this and that.
Yeah, because when I first saw it, I thought, "Oh, this is a Scottish thing, mate." But Burt Lancaster's in it. Yeah. Wow, a Scottish movie with an American star. I mean, at the time.
But another thing is, you had Fulton Mackay, and you would never think Fulton Mackay and Burt Lancaster together.
Yeah, Fulton Mackay is just superb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the one I picked up. It's on my wish list for a while.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Remember, we've been talking about it for so many times.
I've got to rewatch it.
Exactly. It's just superb. And this one, it's got a behind-the-scenes featurette, filmography, and a theatrical trailer.
I just so love this one. And if you recall, and I think this was probably episode 3 of what we did when I picked up the Richard Pryor collectible edition with the book and a DVD.
And we were talking about it, and I said that it was one of the ones that is on my wish list. And I finally found it today.
Yep. It's an amazing one, and I think we do have Brewster's Millions, we have Trading Places, we have all of these really great comedies. That is one that slips under the radar for most people, but it is just such awesome comedy.
Yeah,
it's relevant, and it is tactful, although they do step out of lines. It's literally like a branching tree. It follows a nice core, but it's literally splits left, right, center, up, down. You do not know what's gonna hit you from next one scene to the next.
Yeah.
Good evening, not Brian.
Not Brian. Wages. Achilles is in that.
Yep. Yeah, it's in Local Hero.
Yeah. Yes, but the next one I've got is actually 3 movies. I picked up the set.
It's his trilogy.
Ooh. Oh. I got this screen for talking about people.
Yeah. So I picked them up, and they were just basically, I got 20 DVDs for £1. And those were 3 of them. But you know what I mean? How's that for a nice wee set for 5 pence each? And my final one today is one of my the reason I've never bought it is because I've got it on. It was on Amazon or something. I downloaded it, and I watch it from my download. So it's never been an issue. However, picked this up today as well, and it's one of my favorite horror twisted tropes and comedies.
Tucker versus Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
But it's Alan Tudyk. Again,
this is the one where him, Tucker and Dale are building a cabin in the woods, and all the college students go up, and they think these 2 guys are going to kill them because these 2 are the hillbillies, and it turns out that they kill themselves, and these 2 get the blame for everything, and they're just basically guys thinking that they're up there committing suicide and blaming them. It's just one of those ones that takes the trope of the cabin in the woods and the hillbillies and just switches it on its head, and because Alan Tudyk's in it, it just works. It works so well. It's hilarious. The 2 of them just look like the evil hillbillies, and the things that they do and things that happen is just hilarious. Like my favorite part is when he's digging the hole. He's burying one of the guys, and because the guy shot himself by accident, so they were burying him. So the guy one of the other guys saw them burying the body, so they decided they're killing us all off and burying us up at their cabin, so we need to stop them. So as he was digging the hole, he jumped up, and as he dived at him, he ducked to dig a hole, and he went right into the wood chipper. He jumped right into the wood chipper, and I was knocking myself because it was Alan Tudyk trying to pull him out, going, "He's trying to commit suicide. Help me!"
I've got to watch it.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It is absolutely hilarious. It is definitely one of the funniest comedy horror movies out there, and it's Tucker and Dale are just superb in it. Alan Tudyk and what's the other one? Can't remember. A hilarious gore-drenched joyride. Meet the brilliant Bill and Ted, the hillbilly Bill and Ted. That's basically how they've classed that. Look, meet the hillbilly Bill and Ted. It is just hilariously. It is definitely a comedy horror at its finest. So it is. So that's all my movies. And the one I would recommend there is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Obviously, Hear No Evil, See No Evil is a must. But There you go. See,
Roman of the Empire.
It is absolutely hilarious. We definitely need to. Well, do you know what we'll do? One Wednesday we'll do a Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That sounds perfect for this Wednesday coming. Have you got a copy of Tucker and Dale? Can you get a copy?
I can get hold of one.
Because we could do that for Wednesday, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. We'll do a review and talk about because it is one of the funniest horror comedies out. So it is. So that was my pick for the week. So it was. And that was, I got 40 DVDs for £2. Most of them I went through. Some of them were because I had other copies and it was just to replace the copies I had because it was either widescreen or special edition. So I had a bog standard copy and I just swapped them out. So I've got a pile there that's going back to the charity shop. There's about 15 of them. Some of them were just TV shows that it was seasons 3 and 4 and things like that, just to add into my collection. These were the movies. So, but Tucker and Dale is definitely was my favourite find. I have got a copy of Tucker and Dale I downloaded from Amazon all the way back, and I watch it very regularly. But when I got
it's the same here. I think I have a digital copy, but I have yet to find a physical copy in the
Well, I was over
hunting
when
arena.
I actually picked that up today, so it was just perfect.
Yeah.
I'm actually
something that I've started wishing a little bit more for, and I will have to admit, I have not gone on the Google machine and everything. Mm-hmm. It is the collector's edition of certain items. I find them in the charity shop, and it's part of the hunt. So
exactly
the Angelina Jolie one that I will show next week is a very nice. There's a cardboard outside. It's pretty much just a reprint of the DVD box, but it's a nice sleeve on top of it, which adds a little bit of value for me.
It's the same idea as the John Wick, as you said. It's a nice wee cardboard sleeve, just a nice wee extra.
Yeah,
so it is. And yes, it's identical to the actual thing, so you could take that off or not. But I think just that wee extra sleeve just gives it that wee bit extra.
Yes, exactly, and that is why it's so worthwhile going out to the charity shops and getting these things, because I love literally go and say, I know I can get 10 of them for £1. It's just like, back in the day, it was like 50 quid for a DVD.
Yeah.
Without any extras.
I have got a couple of them still with literally just a movie. You take it out, put it in, and it just goes straight into the movie. There is nothing else on it. There's not even a menu. It just goes straight into the movie. I've got a couple of them. I've got a couple of ones where you have to sit as it goes through all the bump about not copying and it's illegal. Then it'll show you 3 or 4, then go straight into the movie, and you can't even fast forward.
You wouldn't download the car, would you?
I know. But it's the fact is, I've got that, and you can't skip past them.
Yeah.
Because and the DVD doesn't even go to a menu. It's like watching an old video. So it was fast forward. But the DVD has got it so you can't skip it. And then it gets sparked, and then it goes straight into the movie. So there's not even a menu. I've got a couple of them that are that old. That's how you run them, which is weird as hell.
Yeah, Roman of the Empire. I want to watch the Northman. I've just been too busy. I can literally walk 5 minutes down the road. I will be straight at the cinema. I can see it, but every time I'm just looking, it's like, crap, I have a stream, or I need to work. And this week, I've actually have annual leave, but I focused 100% on making my home studio setup come to life. because I want to change a little bit of the backdrop and all of that. And it is going to take me
You
maybe
just
another
wanted
2
to
weeks.
show your Ming.
Oh well, my Ming will definitely be flapping, shall we say, if my setup works as I want it to. I'll show you on the live stream soon enough. I just need to wait for Royal Mail to deliver the items I need.
See, my shelf is actually starting to get more. So I've got my little friend.
Say hello to my little friend.
I've got my Ash. I've got my Cylon. I've got my Wolfman.
Ooh.
And I've got my Godzilla. So that shelf is eventually, if I get another figure, then these are all going, everything else is getting moved and it's just going to be figures on that shelf. My larger figures. Because I've got Judge Fed is going to be put on it once he's unboxed. And I've got my King Kong, which I'm going to unbox, and he's going to be on it as well.
I wish I could say I got geeky stuff this week, but most of the stuff I got was for home cooking. You can probably see the nuclear green stuff of this. It's basically a gin and tonic with an apple crisp syrup. So I got myself a nice, shall we say, home bar mix. Whatever you want to call it.
I don't do things like that. I just actually, it's food. I've got
But it's food too. I mean, I got a griddle, tons of stuff like that because
I'm talking about junk food.
No, I can actually make junk food at home now.
I don't know. Junk food is when you buy it in. Yeah, I mean, I like to be able to just turn around, do that, and pick a big packet of crisps up. Or a small packet of crisps up. Or
I definitely need to sort out a care package for the two of you guys.
Look at that. Yeah, look, he's still sitting there. Look, Iron Man. Iron Brew guy, I've actually put him there.
Iron Brew Iron Man.
Iron Brew Iron Man. So I basically put him up. He's basically sitting there. And I've got all my junk sweets down there as well. I've got all my junk sweets sitting here as well.
I definitely need to get
my Iron Brew. That's my
sweets.
Iron Brew shoes. That's my Iron Brew shoes. And I've got a box of Iron Brew and toffee, Highland toffee. So I got a load of packets of them, so they're all in that as well. So I do like my junk food. I just keep talking.
Seeing that we have Roman in the chat, I'll actually bring up.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Sweeties.
This is a salted popcorn syrup. And I think it's not going to go into my coffee. It's not going to go into my gin and tonic. Although I did try one because I just wanted to know how it was. It was amazing, but I think this is something that will just drizzle over the ice cream throughout summer. Here's another one from the same company. And it's basically lavender violet taste. It's just amazing. And they don't even cost like 10 quid, and they will definitely give you 30 drinks each. So it's no money at all. It's just flavor for your coffee or your syrup, whatever your tipple is.
Sorry, guys. Sorry if I've just burst out in laughing, but I just watched that scene you told me about from Tucker and Dale.
It is absolutely hilarious, isn't it?
Do you want me to put it on? Do you want me to
No, I'm saying it is absolutely hilarious. What we'll do is we'll watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and we'll do a review of it this Wednesday.
But can we put some scenes in or something?
I'll have a couple of clips organised by then. But Tucker and Dale versus Evil is just absolutely superb.
I'm gonna watch that.
I love it. It's just one of those movies you're just sitting there thinking, whoever thought this up is actually a genius.
The thing is with comedies like that, it's they're like one-hit wonder types, and you never ever see them again.
Oh,
But they'll always be
Glenlivet.
forever remembered.
Glenlivet. I've not had a Glenlivet for a few years.
Oh,
Although
Glenlivet's
single
is
malts
okay.
don't bother. I'm not as bothered about single malts
Guess
anymore.
who's back? It must be that time.
It must be that time. We've mentioned alcohol.
Hey, I didn't show alcohol, but
You didn't get your Ming out for a change, so.
Mm-hmm.
well, how would they get
same
into
idea.
us if my Ming isn't out? Although I will say this, if I do
We
get all
mentioned
the
them
toys
earlier.
I need,
That's what the problem was. We mentioned it earlier. As soon as we mentioned it.
Next time, shall we take bets? What we take.
I think they're really late to the show. I mean, we've been streaming for what, almost 2 hours now?
1 hour 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. They're usually on the ball, literally 6 minutes in. It's like, hey, how are you guys doing? It's like, here's the spam bots.
The problem is, anytime you mention your Ming, boop, there it pops.
Well, I was trying to not mention that.
Back again.
I was definitely trying to not mention that, but yes, my Ming is, if I get the furniture required, I will have a flapping Ming in the background constantly.
Say nothing. Absolutely nothing. But
I'm trying to bring in the extra views to the channel here with the
but see, when I set this system up, I actually thought I'd actually put it down so you could only be a subscriber post, and it didn't work. So I must actually have done something wrong.
Probably need to check in with the captain again, because he did have that recommendation how you do it.
Yeah, it was Mr. Brown's Alliance. But yeah, I thought I'd actually changed it, because accordingly you have to do it within your settings of your channel, and I'm wondering if you have to do it with every single time you want to do it. You can't just set it in your channel once and it takes it over. Because I use StreamYards and I don't use the channel, I'm wondering if you have to do it that way.
It's something I need to check up when I set up the studio, because I need to reinstall a lot of the software and sign up to the subscriptions, because I don't even have a StreamYard login at the moment, so I don't know what you can really do in the background. Yeah, that is on the agenda.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
That is very true.
Yep.
It's the same as Roman's actually been watching the Briscoe County Junior stuff. I've uploaded, and I'm a big Bruce Campbell fan. I've got my cells up there. I've got my Briscoe County Junior cell there, and I've got my Ash v Evil Dead cells there. I've got all my DVDs, Bruce Campbell, up there, and I've got my Ash v Evil Dead figure behind me here. I do love Bruce Campbell. I'm a big Bruce Campbell fan, and comedy horror like Evil Dead, even Army of the Dead, I thought was hilariously funny. Especially, I liked the bit when all the skeletons come out and skeleton coughing. It's just wee silly things like that. I just love in a good horror comedy. It's like watching an old Peter Lorre horror comedy, because they did it back in the day. You used to get a good horror comedy as well. So you'd have Peter Lorre in it, and he would be doing silly things, and you'd be sitting there thinking, you've got Vincent Price, you've got the Wolfman in it, and they're serious. And then you have somebody like Peter Lorre doing something silly in it, and you're sitting there thinking, it changes the whole connotations of it. And if it's done properly, it's just amazing.
What about Abbott and Costello when they meet?
Abbott and Costello meeting the Wolfman and all that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And the Evil Dead trilogy, they are just super. Even the TV show Ash v Evil Dead, 2 seasons. Was it 2? Was it 3 seasons? 3 seasons. No 2 seasons. I've got 2 seasons. I'm still waiting for my 3rd season because, same again, I could go out and buy it, but I try not to go and buy them in DVD or on eBay or stuff like that. So I think I've only got the 2 seasons. But the 3rd season was the final season, and at least they finished it off. But it's just so well done, and I love Bruce Campbell's stuff. He's a man and a half. Even he just seems anything he's doing. Like for instance, Burn Notice, fantastic. My Name is Bruce is on my list for this week to watch. Stuff like that. It's just the stuff he does is just amazing. There's a couple of things on YouTube where he's doing a quiz. He's doing a quiz. So he's got guys up at a Comic-Con doing a quiz, and if it depends, sometimes they'll say something, it humours them. So he takes $1 out and gives them $1. I like that. And it basically just because of the way they answer the question, if they bring his stuff into it, he'll give them $1. And it's just, he's got that persona that people like him, and he just seems to come across as this normal guy who works hard, that doing the job that he enjoys doing. Even his 2 books are freaking amazing. Hail to the Chin and If Chins Could Kill are just 2 fantastic books. Because Hail to the Chin, Confessions of a B-movie actor is just amazing, and he was that good. He did another one, Arsenic and Old Lace. That's the one. That is absolutely amazing with the 2 wee old women. It's just amazing. 3 seasons it did. I've only got the 2 seasons up there. That's where the problem was. Same again. I always try and I try and do the hunt. That's why I've not got all 3 seasons. I don't think I do. They were predecessors of Ghostbusters.
But Burn Notice is also cheeky because it's got Cagney and Lacey
and both of them, yes, both of them are in it.
I keep forgetting who is whom, but one of them is literally his mum. So not Bruce Campbell's character, but they do get into the really cringe, like flirtation scenes. It's like, wow.
Michael's mother was Lacey. I think she played what do you call her? Oh God! See that? How am I terrible with names?
I just had that discussion with a colleague of mine, and it's like, my department that I work in has 300 plus people working in. How the hell am I supposed to learn all of their names? And remember? It's like I'm trying my best, but my friendship circle is quite small. It's maybe 24 people.
Well, I'm going to ask you this. Do you remember a film called Bloodbath at the House of Death?
I have got. I've got all 3 seasons. I have got all 3 seasons. I thought I only had seasons 1 and 2, but seasons 1, 2,
Hail to the King, baby.
I've got the T-shirt. I was going to wear the T-shirt. I've got the T-shirt, and I was going to wear it today. It said "Hail to the King," but I decided to keep that for Wednesday. I'll wear it for Wednesday, but I've got my T-shirt. It says "Hail to the King," the red one.
One film I do want to rewatch again, which is like a comedy horror, if you know about. Oh, my connection go. Yeah. I was going to say there's one film I do recommend, Maximum Overdrive.
I've heard about it, but I have not seen it.
The only film directed by Stephen King, who was high on drugs at the time, and it was complete, Is
this where it is like a monster truck that will kill people or something?
No, it's what it is that a comet is passed through past Earth, right? And the tail of the comet has made all electronics come to life. Like anything with a microchip come to life, develop a personality. and it's like killing off everybody on Earth. But you've got these people who are at this truck stop, and they're surrounded by trucks.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it just now. Emilio Estevez. When Earth passes through the tail of a red M rogue comet, the machines come to life and start to kill off mankind. A group of survivors under siege from the fierce trucks at the Dixie Boy truck stop gas station, and they have to fight to survive. I actually think that sounds actually quite good.
It is a good movie. It is a good movie. There's at the beginning, you got a cameo from Stephen King, and he just puts his cards in an ATM machine, and the machine calls him an arsehole, and he turns around and say, "What, honey? This cash machine just called me an asshole." What? He was high on drugs at the time, and it's just he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Mainly when he filmed it, but it's one of those. He is a classic. He is a classic.
I've not got that. I'm jealous of that one. I've got the Evil Dead 40th anniversary graphic novel. Also groovy.
Find him a copy and send it to PJ.
Roman the Empire is in California, so it's no local postage. I was on with them in Friday in the Father stream. So that's what I was saying. We never clash over because he does all the new stuff. I says we do all the old stuff. But there you go. So I think I'll need to actually dig through that. Maximum Overdrive looks fun. I'll need to keep an eye out for it. I'll add it to my wish list to see if I can get hold of.
AC/DC did the soundtrack for it, and it was absolutely brilliant.
Aye, so you know me with music.
Going down. Party time. AC/DC is good music, but when I think of stuff like that era, there is a recent. Well, when I say recent, it was probably out a couple of years ago, but it is Megamind.
Mm-hmm.
And when he's coming up against his real nemesis, it's like, oh, you're a villain, all right, but you're not a super villain. And the guy is just countering. It's like, oh, yeah, what's the difference? And it's presentation. It's like Guns N' Roses blaring on maximum volume. And it's like, yes, you literally jump out of your chair, and it's because like, yeah. That is when music, and I know, PJ, you say music is something you rarely pay attention to.
I very rarely. I've never been one for music. I don't. Do you know how many CDs I own?
One.
I probably own about 5, and most of them were gifts. And if they're not, they were basically their soundtracks, as in Western soundtracks and stuff like that. It's basically so music.
Can I ask you something, Jim? Is do you remember the time when you had like rock music and that went through with 80s films?
Yes, sort of, but the rock music was sort of cast aside a little bit.
Yeah, but so at the ending with the end credits, they had like a great rock song. Take it to film Commando. You know, and I can't remember the band's name, but it's just that ending where you see the plane take off and the music is going with the film as the end credits go along.
But you also have other great films like Aircon.
Yeah.
Or Con Air. So not Aircon, Con Air. Steve Buscemi and what's his face that everybody is laughing at all the time because he's just churning out so many films.
The thing is that I have got a huge music taste, right? And I do like listening to soundtracks. And the thing is, sometimes the track works well with the film. But you get some films these days where they just shove on any old soundtrack or anything like that.
See, a lot of the times nowadays they just basically whatever they can put in there. They don't even actually think about it. And considering, as I said before, music doesn't bother me, but I'm aware when it's not there, or something's not quite right. So good music should be that you don't notice it. It just brings the scene together. And to me, that's the best way I think about music. If the music is there, I don't notice it. And without it, the scene just fails. To me, that's perfect. However, I think nowadays they just say, "Oh, he's written for here before," and then they put the person in the to write the music, but the person music doesn't fit, and they only put him there because he's a big name. We'll put him in, but he doesn't. He does big orchestral stuff, and that wouldn't work for this movie. Doesn't matter. He's famous, and that's what it's all about, and that's where it fails, I think.
Now, I'm just going to bring up Star Wars for a minute. Go back to A New Hope. When it first started, right? And the iconic titles come up, and then the opening crawl, and the music goes with the rhythm goes with the opening crawl. And then for that certain sequence, and then you come down to the opening with the Corvette getting chased by the Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the music blends well with that. You're never going to get something like that ever again properly.
Oh, but they tried to, because they actually recreated it and it didn't work. And they wondered why it didn't work. Because you copied something that worked perfectly and you did it incorrectly. And that's why. It's because you get someone who's famous, put them in and say, that should be okay then. So, it's what can you do with these things?
I agree with that. Yes, that's another movie I love. But I think
Lady Hawk. We did a Lady Hawk thing, mate, and I hadn't seen Lady Hawk, and I sat and watched it, and I enjoyed it. The music's not the greatest, but still, it was fun. It was a fun movie.
Another film I do recommend: Hawk the Slayer.
Yes,
because it kept getting brought up in the TV show Spaced, and I had to watch it, and I went, "This is quite nice. This is a good movie. This is really a good movie."
I was never a fan of Spaced.
Yeah, no, it's
I've got it, but I was never a fan of it.
Yeah, it's just Bill Bailey who played the comic book store or the comic shop owner.
I love Bill Bailey. I've got Bill Bailey's. I've got a good few Bill Bailey's DVDs. Just the way. Do you remember in Black Books? Look how good he was in Black Books.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Bill Bailey is superb.
Can I just say something? I've actually visited the shop where Black Books was set, like the front of the shop. And you think it's nothing like what they actually did on the set, but friendly people in there. Friendly people.
No, they always do that. They'll show the outside of a real store, and then sometimes it's the same as the Still Game, the Klansman.
Yeah.
There used to be a pub called the Klansman, and the people used to make deliveries to it, and they thought it was actually not a real pub because it was actually used as a backdrop. And the Klansman eventually went out of business because people actually just thought it was a part. So they would come up, get their photo taken outside, and then go away because they didn't think it was a real pub. So it does sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because it basically went the opposite for the Klansman, and now they have to actually just create they just have a bit of a building, and it's the picture, and it's just got the Klansman sign outside, and it is not even a real building. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know Cheers, the bit for Cheers, that's not even a bar.
I know.
It's just actually the entrance, but it's the same idea. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I know places that they've used it and people go and get their pictures taken. And the people who actually own the building are quite happy to have a sign up saying, and actually still have the sign up as if it's the thing. They just so people will come in to get pictures taken, and if they're in, they might buy something, and it's that type of thing. So use it the way you need to get the business going. But if it actually causes your business to fail, that's when it goes wrong.
Hold on, I'll just bring this up, share this for a minute. Just give me a second. Speaking about black books, here it is. I've actually been in the place, but it's not like what it is on the set. That's the actual storefront itself.
Yep.
It has changed over the years, but
yeah,
it's great. It's great when you just like look around and you notice most of the, most of London and that.
Yeah, but see, Black Books, I thought it's just Bill Bailey is just so.
He stole the entire show. That's all I can say.
The bit with the piano, when he was playing the piano underneath with the spoons, was just hilarious. He just stole it because when he played his Bernard character, it was just fun.
I remember that episode when he was having he couldn't get hot or something for one day. And he ended up changing into something and he ended up causing the riot outside. I can't remember the episode.
Well, it was the episode that he pretended to be a cop and chased the guy, and as soon as the guy stopped, he ran right past him as if he was chasing somebody else. Yeah, but Bill Bailey's amazing what he does. I've got a couple of his stand-up stuff. I bought them for my dad. My dad was a big Bill Bailey fan, and I inherited him when my dad passed. Me and him used to love watching Bill. It was absolutely amazing. Never got a chance to see him live, but we've got all his DVDs. So his stand-up stuff, the way he plays music and just incorporates it into his routines. Even there's a movie, a Cock and Bull story. It's about Burke and Hare.
Yeah.
And
Bill
Bailey's in that as well. But he's not in a lot of it. He's in it at the beginning and then at the end. But he's because of his name. His name's actually on it more than the two who starred. It's Burke and Hare.
He played a double role in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
He was playing twin brothers, which was good. What else? Trying to figure out another film he was in. He did a cameo in Run, Fat Boy Run. Yeah,
I've got that, but I've not watched it yet.
Yep, he had a cameo in that. Well, actually, he's done quite a lot, but he's one of those guys. He's one of those type of guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in some great stuff. Even if just wee bit parts here and there, he's just been in amazing stuff because he's just got one of those characters he can just fit in quite well.
Yeah.
Is that your motorbike pulled up?
No, that's a motorbike passing by. This is the problem. Oh yeah, just to keep you an update. Apparently, the road outside my house, they're going to be starting roadworks soon because about like 3 months. Well, mainly we've had accidents outside once a month, and now they're finally doing something about the road outside. So if they're doing roadworks now, make sure I keep the mic cut out.
Yeah, and the good thing is when they're doing roadworks, a lot of the time they don't work at night. So
I'm hoping they're not. But
yeah.
no, it's just
look at that. Not Brian. He saw Bill Bailey in the Edinburgh Fringe in 2006. Les Dennis was in the audience. At least it wasn't Dustin G. It was only Les Dennis. But he's just, I love Bill Bailey stuff. I've got a few his DVDs, and I just think he's an unsung genius. He is very well known, but I think there's a lot of people who still haven't heard of him.
There's a lot of people missing him.
They're missing out in something superb. Even when he's been on QI and stuff like that, he just basically steals the show.
I like how he plays all the instruments.
Yeah.
And does it in such
musical.
a funny way. Yeah, and does it in such a funny way.
Yeah, it's like Les Dawson used to do that with his
piano.
Remember that? Yeah. Les Dawson was that accomplished pianist. He could actually play a tune that you could recognise out of tune. Okay, and people think that's easy because if you don't know how to play the tune, then it's easy to play it out of tune. It's harder. You need to be so knowledgeable about it that you can still play something out of tune that people recognise.
It's just when Les Dawson played the piano like this and he's going dun dun dun.
But no, even the fact is when he would play it out of tune and you're sitting there, it's almost like he's played it, but he's moved one key down and he still plays it. And the problem is you can still recognise the tune he's playing, and that's how well he can do it.
It's it reminds me of the Morecambe and Wise sketch with Andre.
I'm playing all the right notes, not necessarily in the right order. Andre preview.
I wind up my mum the other day, the other week, and she goes, "I'm trying to watch this TV series, but I'm not watching. I don't think I'm watching the right episodes." And I went, "Well, you're not necessarily. You are watching the right episodes.
The right episode. You're just not necessarily in the right order." But it's the same idea. You look at the things they could get away with. Look at Morecambe and Wise used to be able to do with Les Dennis. Des O'Connor.
Yeah.
And that was because they were so great friends that they could slag each other to death. And people actually believed that they didn't like each other.
I know. It's like that line he came up with, if you want to make me O'Connor, buy me an LP by Des O'Connor. But also you had Peter Cushing who turned up on a few episodes.
Yeah.
And he keeps asking, why haven't I been paid?
Yes, exactly. They used to do that with quite a few. You look at they had Shirley Bassey.
Yeah.
The bit with the boot.
Yeah.
Because she stepped into it and then basically the boot comes off. How many of these big stars that people took seriously would do stuff like that for anybody else except Morecambe and Wise?
What about how can I put it, the newsreaders they had on?
Oh, Angela Rippon.
Yeah.
Nobody knew she could sing and dance.
I know. What legs she had. That's all I can say.
What's that one? Satellite Radio had a Beatles channel with a program that plays rarities. Today I heard the Love Me Do with Pete Best on the drums. Nice. Christ almighty, an old one.
Oh,
I remember the problem is, see with the Beatles, especially the Love Me Do.
Yeah.
I got into trouble.
Why?
When I was a wee boy, a wee teenager, let's say I was 17, going out with a girl, and we thought we were being funny, so we locked her. She was out in the balcony, so we locked the door, and then she told us to open it, and we couldn't unlock it, and she says, "Oh, you need to bang it," and as she went to bang it, she missed and hit the glass and smashed the glass. And it was, we were actually sitting and listening to Love Me Do, the Beatles. I still remember it. It's just the fact is, we thought we were being smart, locked the door. And she says, "It sticks if you don't do it properly." She says, "Right, hold on, when I bump it, pull the handle down." And as she bumped it, she missed and hit the glass and smashed it. And it was in her house, and she got into trouble with her mother, and it was all our fault. And Love Me Do was the bye song. But yeah, as you're aware of the difference, people can play the same musical instrument.
Yeah, me, I'm trying to take up the Well, I want to play the saxophone, really, but I've ended up buying a harmonica instead. So
I can't. My 3 sisters could play the accordion. My
Yeah.
mum could sing. My father could sing, play the 6 and 12 string guitar and the accordion. My brother could play the accordion, and I can't even play the triangle. I am tone deaf.
Oh, do you remember that clip? I'm going to ask you. Do you remember that clip from the Muppets TV show? We had Rita. I forgot her name. She's doing the session with Animal on the drums. I can't remember the name of the song. Fever, right? And she's just trying to sing along to it, and Animal at the back
is going nuts.
Yeah, and she ends up getting 2 giant cymbals and smacking it with it. You can't get a thing like that anymore.
See, I like that. Kelly, she said, I can play the radio.
Yeah, on and off, or switch channels.
Yeah. My radio is basically always on audiobook. It's not even on music. When I'm in the car, the only time my radio is on for music is when my wife's in the car. She switches it on. If I'm in the car on my Todd, it's audiobook. I've never put music on.
When I'm in the kitchen doing either cooking or doing the washing up, I always have the radio on, and I'm listening to Gold radio because I like to listen to the old songs.
Yeah, so you basically, I don't listen even if I'm in the house on my Todd and I'm in the kitchen cooking, or which is very rarely, making tea, doing the dish or whatever, I've got my audio book on. I do not have music on ever. My wife's got one in the kitchen. I had radio in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But the only time I listen to radio is if she's in and she's listening to it. I never put them on. In my car, it's never on unless my wife's in the car.
Same here. I'll put on a couple of YouTube videos or music videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'll do the laundry, the dishwasher, cooking, whatever there is. I just listen to it in the background. It's just white noise. I don't pay attention to it.
If I want something on in the background, it's a TV show or a movie that I've watched that many times. I just need to hear it. I don't need to see it. That's what I do. My TV's always on. In my room, if I'm doing something else, I've got a TV show running or I've got a movie running. And it's always the case for me. I've always like that. So when I come in from work from 6 o'clock till midnight, I've got TV shows and movies running, even though I'm
I use TNG for that quite a lot. I just put on an episode. I don't even watch it. I just listen to it.
Yeah.
Hearing how Worf talks to Data, or how Picard and Riker interacts, or Troy, whatever it is.
You mean the new Picard has actually not ruined it for you?
I've not even watched it. But it's like I watched the 2 first episodes. It's like, nope, this is not Picard. Go away. I haven't even. I did see the trailer scene.
Wheel of Time.
I did see the trailer scene with Riker and Picard doing pizza or whatever it was. I haven't even watched that episode. I was just that bored. It's like, yep.
Yeah. See, the problem is, that's why I wish I had never actually watched the Wheel of Time, because I gave all my books to the charity shop except my first 5, which are dog-eared because the first 5 are my favourite. I gave all the rest to a charity shop. I just could not put them back on my shelf again. So the books went to the charity shop. Every time I listen to an audiobook, I just picture those faces, so I don't even have them on my phone, which is a shame, because the Wheel of Time, I love the first 5 books. First 3 are the best 3. The next 2 I really enjoyed. After that, I felt as if they was just dragging out the story to the point he passed away and Brandon Sanderson took over, and I just could not get into Brandon Sanderson doing it. I felt as if he'd actually added things in to make it his own, and that's why I didn't like them. So
Yeah, but
although I had the
even
books to
so,
listen,
I think what Amazon did to Wheel of Time is, I would say, like, it's a bookmark in history. They will keep
no, it's a
destroying
poop
our
mark in
franchises.
history. You got it wrong. It's a poop mark in history.
Yeah, it's a poop mark. Because this is what Amazon will do. We all know the upcoming stuff about Amazon's Rings of Power, which isn't Lord of the Rings, but they're branding it as Lord of the Rings, which doesn't make sense. And they've already been caught cheating, stealing, bribing people, absolutely just making stuff up on their own and all of that. And we know it's going to continue happening to a lot of the franchises that were beloved by people from the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, even the 70s, the good TV shows and books and everything that came out there. I cannot, for the life of me, think of any reputable, shall we say, TV studio today that would take an Arthur C. Clarke or a Heinlein.
Oh, yeah.
Or even if we go further back, Asimov book, and actually pay homage to the story that was told. They would just go, oh, hey, cool sounding title. Oh, it's been downloaded 100 million times, therefore we will make a lot of money. No. Those of us that read those books,
yeah,
at least I have no interest to go to the cinema and watch it because I know it will be just absolutely trash.
Yeah.
The one standout I will say, and this is in contrast to you, PJ, is the Dune film that they did put out. Yes, it was unfinished, but for what it was, I would say not a bad job. Not a bad job at all. I wish they had all of it.
Yes, but that's the point. What happens if they do not finish it? Is it still not a bad job, considering you've only got half of it?
For the part of the story that was told and shared, not a bad job. You can leave it unfinished because you fucked up. Pardon the French, but I'm worried now that because of how good the first part was, can they actually keep it up? And I don't think they can.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they can either, because who wants to go to the movies now? The thing is, the movies used to work because they had a lot of decent movies throughout the year, one or two blockbusters. Now you've got one or two decent movies throughout the year, and the rest of it people don't care enough about. So you might have the occasional Top Gun.
Yeah.
But
so you might have
not only that. Don't worry about the film. What about the experience? I used to be
an experience. I used to go to cinema, right? People would say, but why does it cost you so much to go to the cinema? Every time I went to cinema, it would cost me about £30-40. Because when I went to the cinema myself, I would buy popcorn, I would buy juice, I would buy nachos with dignity, I would buy a hot dog. Because when I went with my father used to buy us them all the time. So if I take my kids, I would buy them. So I used to remember taking my youngest, and she used to sit there with a foot-long hot dog, not watch the movie, but just sitting with this foot-long hot dog, and then in the break, she would get another one, because that was what happened. That's what my dad did with me. So when my kids go, I would do the same with them. So it was always an experience. It's not going just to see a movie. It was going to see a movie with
exactly. The film was part and parcel of it, but it wasn't the main point. It was you out with your family. But today it's literally just sterile. Put your butt in the seat, watch the film, shut up, and consume.
Can I just say something? It's not about movies anymore. It's chasing box office takings. That's all it is. That's all it is. Let's chase how many people we can get bums on seats, right? And how much money we can make out of these movies. There's no proper films anymore, is it?
Cover for me for 2 seconds, would you?
Okay, yeah. Jim?
Yeah, sorry, I was just pouring myself another G&T. But no, it is literally that they're just crunching the numbers. And as someone that's worked in IT since the early 90s, you do a job really well, and suddenly there is an efficiency engineer just jumping in, and it's like, oh, okay, we can do this way, and blah blah blah, and everything, and suddenly you find yourself you have no job.
Yeah,
and it's like, hang on, you needed me to do that, and now you're automating me out of it. And I think it's the same with films. They've automated out the really creative writers. They've automated out people like Adam Savage, although I think he would probably go as like, no, I'm still part of Hollywood. But no, his hands-on capability of building real set items and everything. They've automated his job completely. He's no longer part of the original time when he started building stuff. And it's the same across the board. And for Hollywood now, it's just crunching the numbers. It's like, okay, we got 100,000 people go watch this film. Yeah, okay, we sort of ish made the money back. And I know me and PJ had a discussion a couple of months ago. It's like, I don't understand how Hollywood can keep throwing money at really shitty products that people don't want to watch, that people downvote, and their only response is, oh, you didn't like this film about this black woman, wheelchair, blah, blah, you're a racist. I say, how does that sell tickets?
Yeah.
The average junk 80s film, I'm pretty certain for the amount of money you put into making the film, you got more butts in the cinemas than big blockbusters, £1 billion or US dollars or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Gets butts in seat. Shoestring budgets like trauma films, where they had like 50 quid and everybody worked for free. They drew more people to go to the cinema and watch it. And buy the popcorn, and buy the chocolates, and buy the drinks, and buy the hot dogs. Today, it's like you go in and you watch the latest Marvel film or whatever it is. Even if you walk just past the cinema, you see like there's hundreds of T-shirts hanging in the front shop windows. Nobody's buying it.
Yeah. And another thing is I don't really like is that it's no proper genuine storytelling anymore.
Exactly. That's exactly what they lost. And I think, was it the Friday Night Tights or was it someone else discussing it? Is they fear in the films they make today that if it's gone 60 seconds without something exploding, they think they've lost the audience. So there has to be explosion. Yeah. And it's like there is no calm moment in a film these days.
Okay, I am going to take one film from the 80s to discuss with you, right? Now, I mentioned the film earlier, Commando.
Absolutely brilliant one.
Right. The whole purpose with Commando was the story that his daughter gets kidnapped and he's got to go and rescue her, but he can't because he's got to go and assassinate someone, right? But it just goes through the film of the build-up of trying to find where his daughter is to the scene where he starts getting all the guns and all this and that, and then getting on that plane, and then you had the grand payoff with the overkill to it, just to go in and rescue his daughter. That was a film. The build-up.
Yep.
Right? The
Don't
build-up
have
of the
build-ups now.
story.
They have talk about what happened. They have narration.
Yeah.
Because if they ever did a remake of that, there would be a case of somebody sitting there just about to come out of a car or a helicopter, and they would be saying, "My daughter was kidnapped. I had to get these guns," and then jump out, bang, crash, clatter. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. But I've been saying that for ages. It's to get people to actually do that.
Now,
that's all movies are now. They're basically just things to get people to look up from their phone.
Yeah,
that's all they're designed for.
Another film I want to mention. Okay, take the first Rocky movie. You had the build-up to what, like the story as it goes along, and then you get to the point where you have the fight at the end. But you've got the grand build-up towards it.
Yeah, you have the long-term investment, and it's like, this is step one, and here's step 2, and here's step 3, and here's step 4, and suddenly you are 20 steps up on the ladder, and that's where you get the real payoff.
But you imagine a remake of Rocky now. You would have Mrs. Rocky, Rosie Balboa, and she would do all that, and then she would get against the champion of the world, and she would win. She would win.
She wouldn't even do all of that. She would just step into the ring, smack an uppercut, a southpaw uppercut, and that's the film. Done.
Yep.
2 minutes long.
That's what I'm saying. She would go through all the running just to show how good I am. I can do all this, and then win at the end of it. Whereas you went through that whole movie, and at the end you lost, which you were expecting because he was just a guy brought in just because he had no chance of winning, but there was always the hope. But he got beat at the end, and you were okay with that. Believe it or not, he got beat because you weren't expecting someone to come out and actually win against a champion who'd been at the top of his game for a while. And this was a guy, yes, he was a slugger, but that's what he was, a slugger. He wasn't in the same class. They underestimated him because they thought he had no class until they saw the pictures when the video when he was beating up the side of a cow and breaking the bones and stuff like that. Then they realised that, he might be a bit more powerful, but still, he wasn't in the same league.
But that's the thing with these, shall we say, championship tournaments. When it comes to boxing or even playing football or rugby or whatever it is, suddenly give a no-name, unknown team a chance to have a friendly game or competition with someone. And this no-name team that literally they make £10 in an evening because there's like 2 people watching them because of where they play, but suddenly they get to play against the top of the top because they're hungry.
Yeah.
They will literally do everything they can. And there is the arrogance on the other side of the elite players. It's like, these guys are nobodies. I don't have to do my best. So they're playing on 50% energy, whereas you have the underdog playing 250% energy.
Yeah.
Of course the underdog is going to win. And that is what stories
you've got
like
of
Rocky
course
is.
The underdog is going to win in the movies, but in reality, there's a 99%
we have
chance that the underdog's going to
thousands
get
of
beat.
stories in reality with the underdog, the team that shouldn't win, just absolutely smashed the top of the top,
Yeah,
the elite.
yes, you do hear it because it's so unusual. That's the problem. You do hear it. It's so unusual, but considering all the other ones that didn't win, you don't hear about. It's probably about
that is true.
90% of the time or 99% of the time, it was the expected result.
But that is what the film is all about. It is the top of the top, the elite, the best of the best. Gets a little bit too arrogant, and this underdog comes in and absolutely just smacks them. That is what the story is about. It is not about the 10,000 other underdogs that just completely got trashed or didn't even get mentioned.
The best way I heard it, and I can't even remember where it was I heard it, was it's the same idea as the underdog story, is a rabbit. A rabbit is running for its life. The fox is only running for its dinner.
Yeah.
So if the fox doesn't get the rabbit,
very accurate.
It'll get its dinner tomorrow or later on. Whereas if the rabbit doesn't run for its life, that's it. Over and done with. And it's the same idea with small teams. They're pushing and pushing, but 90% of the time they'll be dinner. There'll just be the occasional when they basically live to play another game.
Yeah. Another thing I miss from movies is the montages and all of the build-ups.
I know montages at one point was literally you would have a decent montage.
Yeah.
You would have the dun, 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 and you would see all that, and you would see it was built because it was in the middle of he's been doing training, but they're just wanting to give you a montage of all the other training he's done, so they would do that. Now, that's the beginning of the movie, and the montage is everything that should have been done for the first 60% of the movie before the montage, showing you the rest of the training. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rocky.
Yeah, the montages are definitely a lost art that we will never get back again.
Yeah.
I know.
And you know fine well that some of these people can write a stoter of a movie and then they can star in a stooge of a movie. You look at Stop or My Mum Will Shoot.
Oh, yes.
Sylvester Stallone, Estelle Getty. Sylvester Stallone for the movies he's normally in, he's great in. Estelle Getty is a great actress, but it didn't quite work.
He did.
It was funny. Yeah. It was funny. It was humorous. Yes, I'll agree. It was a humorous movie, but for what they wanted it to be, it didn't quite work. If you take it as a comedy, nothing else, it works fine because it is silly. But they wanted it to be that action one where they would bring in some Estelle Getty's character, and
another film I liked him in was Oscar. And it wasn't like all that big. It wasn't, but the whole concept of the story of that. He was going to come at his criminal gang were going to become bankers, and they had to change their ways for that day. And you had all these, side stories happening, and it's just getting to the point am I going to go straight or not? You don't get. Another film we did was called Over the Top, which wasn't a big movie. It was about arm wrestling.
Was that the one that basically...
That was a canon movie film. About arm wrestling.
Was that no the one... Clint Eastwood did one. That was the everything.
Which way anybody loose and which way anybody can, yeah.
Yeah. and it was the arm wrestling because I remember.
Yeah, no, that wasn't arm wrestling. That was underground fighting, fist fighting. I've forgotten the name of it. It's boxing without the gloves.
I suppose that's what it was. But there was one Clint Eastwood did. It was arm wrestling.
I don't think he did one with arm wrestling.
I'm sure he did. I just have got this thing. It is basically.
Might have to look that one up.
There was one about wrestling. I'm sure Clint Eastwood was in it. Because he's driving. I'm sure it was Clint Eastwood, but I've got the picture of he's a trucker and he's driving and he's got something there, so he uses just for his wrist and his arm, and that's and he's got it on the other side. So
that's Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone.
Was it Sylvester Stallone? I thought that was Clint Eastwood did one like that. Maybe I'm just they were very similar the way they used to do it with the Every Which Way ones. And that's where I was going to, but yeah, I've seen that one then, and it was corny, but I suppose it was just an excuse to actually have them driving around in trucks, the same idea as the Every Which Way and stuff like that.
They were films of them time that can never be repeated again today.
Exactly, because they were silly, fun movies. They don't do silly, fun movies. The nearest to get to do silly, fun movies is one nobody watches.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a silly, fun one. Nobody watched it.
Can I bring up a mention about the wrestler Hulk Hogan before his sort of mini Hollywood career took off?
Yeah.
He did one film, I can't remember the name of. I'll just bring it up.
It was Mr. Nanny, was it?
No, and it wasn't Civilian Commando. I think it was the first film he did. I know he was in Rocky 3, but that was
he played himself. He played himself.
Well, actually, he played Thunderlips, really.
Yes, but he played himself. Basically, it was just he basically played the wrestler who.
All right, he did a wrestling film called No Holds Barred, and that was a late 1989 that came out, and that was like one of those films of its time.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't get anything anymore like those type of films.
There was a lot of movies like that, and watching them now, they're fun.
Yes.
And that's the difference. You imagine any movie you've seen in the last 5 years or so, you imagine watching them in 10 years' time. What would you be sitting thinking? Really? People used to sit and watch that. Did that ever get released in DVD? Did people care? Do people want to collect it and rewatch it? Do they class it as a classic? Whereas you look at some of the Jaws.
Yep.
Everybody knows when you say things like we're going to need a bigger boat. You might not have seen the movie, but that is out there. People know what it means, even if they've never seen the movie. And it's that type of thing. You imagine any of these TV programs, movies over the last 5 years or so, that somebody will say a line from it and they'll go, "Oh, I know what that's from." I can't imagine it.
The thing is, cheesy 80s action movies was that time.
I'm actually just digging this out. You missed the pick of the day, Matthew. I do like Clint Eastwood stuff. So yes, I can imagine Father's Day. Father's Day is is it next Sunday? Or is it a fortnight? A fortnight, I think it is. Father's Day is a fortnight tomorrow. So.
But another film I want to mention with Sylvester Stallone, Rambo. But I'm talking actually First Blood. What a movie.
See, First Blood, I thought was thingy because
That was a story.
He played it understated.
Yeah.
Because he just floated in and you're sitting there thinking, this is going to be an action movie. But it wasn't an over-the-top action movie.
No.
There was over-the-top parts to it.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, apart from that one guy who gets killed falling from the helicopter.
Yep.
He didn't kill anybody yet. In a normal Rambo movie, let's go in he was killing them left, right. And literally, the old joke was the Charlie Sheen, remember?
Yeah.
The Rambo one.
Yeah.
There was a kill counter in the top corner, and it had gone.
Yeah.
And it was just because it's taking the mickey out of those type of movies.
He just
Rambo 1, he didn't kill anybody. He made them to stop them coming after him. It was so well done.
Yeah. That's another film I agree with you, Matthew Pounder, Firefox.
Firefox, is that not a website? No, sorry.
No. That was a film.
Firefox, I'm trying to remember that one.
He had to steal a plane from Russia.
Oh, aye.
And he had to land it on the ice to get refueled.
Yeah. Do you know one I quite liked? Broken Arrow, John Travolta.
Oh, yes.
That was fun as well. It was corny as hell, overacted. But, wow. Oh,
God, Bennett. Can I just say one thing? The writer and the producer of Speed went on to do Broken Arrow. That's all I can say.
Broken Arrow is just like you said, PJ. It's one of those films that were made just for fun. Here are the action sequences, but we're making it for fun.
Yeah.
Travolta is really shining in that way because he has a lot of cheeky. It's almost, but not 100% fourth wall breaking stuff, where he's going like, "Ooh, I like this."
And that's the thing, is it just seems to actually be having fun in it. And to me, you can't actually beat a good old over the top movie.
But you can tell that they were made for people to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was half serious, it was still made for fun because it was entertainment.
Yeah, do you know what I think the difference? Do you know I think my personal feelings on the difference for movies now from movies then? I know we all say it's entertainment, but it's not. It's content rather than da. Do you know? I think the biggest difference is they try and make them real, as if they're real world. We don't watch James Bond because if it was James Bond in the real world, there would be a guy that
he would be headshotted.
He wouldn't be actually sleeping around the world. He wouldn't be doing this. He wouldn't be able to fly a plane, skydive, ski, do this, do that, do this, and do that. Because he would be a wee guy sitting in maybe with a listening device going, right, this is what we've got. That's spying. Whereas James Bond is over the top spy. We want to watch that James Bond. And that's the difference, is they're too busy trying to make things realistic.
I know.
Realistic is no realistic.
No, and someone like James Bond.
Realistically, one's going to hit the ground and not get back up. They're not going to be fighting for 10 minutes, punching and kicking each other and actually acting as if nothing's the matter.
Take that stunt.
Someone like James Bond is an exceptionally valuable resource because he can fly helicopters, fighter jets. He can do close quarter combats and everything. You would only send, if you were the United Kingdom government, queen, whatever branch there is, this is literally the last card in the deck that you will pull out, because if someone is lucky enough and gets in a cheap shot and kills him, you lost a resource that can do all of these 100 things James Bond can do. Yeah,
but do you know the thing is, that's what they're trying to do? They're trying to make it realistic.
I know.
And that's when it fails, because we don't want realistic. We want entertainment. We want over the top stuff. We don't want to sit there and watch spies actually with a camera up at the thing and a mic pointing in, trying to listen to it to get the whole story. We want to see James Bond walking in, sleeping with Miss whatever her name is, and beating up these guys, getting chased with these guys, and having a bike chase, then a jet skis, then this and that. That's what we want to see.
Can I just say something? Also, when I'm watching most of the behind the scenes stuff on the James Bond films, the stunts they did were very risky.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to get something like that ever again.
Because it's CGI, they don't need to. They could just go, button, do this, there you go.
Yeah. All right, take one, Moonbreaker. The opening scene where he jumps out the plane without the parachute and he's chasing after that guy with the parachute. You can't get anything like that today.
A critical drinker has been pointing that out for quite some time. It's a sense of actual danger.
Yes.
You look at Jackie Chan. You look at his stuff, and it shows you how much danger he puts himself in by the clips at the end. The amount of damage he's done to his body.
Especially in Police Story, where he had to jump on that pole in the shopping centre and go all the way down with all the lights banging, exploding and all this and that, just to get to the bottom, to catch the bad guys.
Yeah, I even remember in the 90s, there was that rumor that you can't get movie insurance for Jackie Chan because he's just going bonkers.
Yeah. Well, Jackie Chan, Armor of the Gods, right?
Yep.
He's got a hole in the back of his head because he filmed that and he didn't have his normal team. His normal team, he basically climbed up the wall, he jumped across onto a branch, and it bent, and he onto the other wall, and then he climbed down, no problem. And it worked, but they wanted a second one because something. So they did it, and as he jumped onto the branch, it snapped. He says normally his crew would watch him falling, and then as he's getting close, they would push him so he didn't land in the rocks. What did the Turkish team do? They saw him falling, they picked up the camera and moved out of the way so it didn't get damaged. And he ended up with a hole, and that's what he says when he's fighting, he's very protective because he's got a hole in his skull behind his ear. And that's the type of things he's doing all these stunts still with that knowledge that no wonder he's got a team behind him that he trusts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Because you look at the times when he's the one when he comes down the pole, but also the one when he's been running down that building, remember?
Oh, yes.
The glass building. He's basically sliding down it, knowing very well it gets to the bottom if he misses. No!
Yep.
But they're all sitting there further down so that as soon as he gets to that part, they jump up the window and grab him so he doesn't go past. And you're sitting there thinking, really? You've got him, and then you've got, which I don't like, but you've got the short guy. Thinks he's a big guy. Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Look at the stunts he does.
I know.
He is sort of at the same level. You have to give him that respect.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like him, but look at the stunts he does. Even I'm aware what he's doing in the stunts, and give him props. He jumped across a building, broke his foot, but he continued on because he knows that they'd been paying for that stunt, and if he failed at that point halfway through the stunt, they would have had to wait until he healed, then have to do it again. Or they would have had to do a fakey version of it. So what he did was he continued, and as soon as he said cut, he went, ah!
What about the stunt where he had to do the halo jump out of the plane? the high altitude, the halo jump, they call it. Now that was a stunt, but most of it was CG.
Yeah.
But it does go to show that sometimes they actually do, they do go over the top with stunts and that, but you can't get actual proper stunts like they did back in the 80s, 70s, and 90s.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It's basically a case of
Okay.
they make it easy for them because there's CGI. They don't need to do it.
All right. One film I am going to mention is a James Bond one, Tomorrow Never Dies. The stunt with the helicopter blade coming down and they're on the motorcycle and the blade of the helicopter's going like that and they had to get that just right. Otherwise it would have been curtains with the stunt team.
What Bond was that?
That was Tomorrow Never Dies. It was the chase on the motorcycle.
I'm trying to remember that one.
The helicopter was coming down. That was an actual genuine blade, but they had to make sure it wasn't like touching and they had to slide the motorcycle under the blades.
But that's what I'm saying. What Bond was it? What one?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Uh-huh.
It was the second Pierce Brosnan film.
The Halle Berry one, yeah.
No, that's later on. Tomorrow Never Dies had Michelle Yeoh in it. I can't remember.
Is it with the guy with the twirling like pen where he does the double click thing?
No, that's GoldenEye.
Yeah, that's GoldenEye. But anyway, I'm starting to flag a little bit, which is probably why I'm confusing the films. So
right,
I'm going to have to drop now.
Man of the Golden, Never Say Never Again, Living Daylights, GoldenEye, World Is Not The World Is Not Enough. Did you say?
Always, guys.
No.
I'm gonna say it's been an awesome stream. Hopefully, Gwen might be coming on, but she said she was being out with friends she hadn't met up with in ages.
What we'll do is we'll be finishing shortly anyway because we are flagging and and we're all flagging. We're all getting too old for this shit. No, sorry, that's a different movie.
No. We're getting too classic for this.
I was actually. What was I going to say? Oh, do you know what I'm going to do when I finish? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and text.
Krispy Kreme.
I've only got one.
There's only one left.
Yeah.
Someone's been cheating there.
I bought 3. Obviously, I had one, my wife had one, and I've got my spare. I always get the extra one for me. None of this. Just buy 2. No.
Oh no, I know that far too much, but I will sign off first. I will say it's amazing as always. The chat is fun. And it's interesting that we're getting so much attention from the Russian spam bots.
Yes, and remember, Wednesday is Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to enjoy that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm going to actually, I've got the DVD there, so I'm going to fire it up tomorrow. I'm going to finish watching season 4 of Numbers. I've only got 3 episodes left, so I'll finish that, then I'll watch it. So like I'll see you Wednesday, Jim, and thank you for joining us again.
Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys on Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Ta-da. Right, Alex, that leaves us 2 of us. We'll finish off the next couple of minutes. And
I was going to say, I've got the scene right here. If you want to share it, or I could show you after the show.
Sure. Share what we're talking about, or the bit with the helicopter.
Yeah.
Should fire it up.
Okay, here we go.
So the guys can see it as well.
Okay, right, this is a very. This is no CG in this whatsoever. Right. Hold on.
You see the chopper?
Oh, yeah, I know this one.
Hold on.
Trapped.
Never.
it's always funny how things explode when they bump into something. Automatically go.
I know. But when they did that scene, the helicopter was suspended on wires, but the thing is, the blades were real. And they had to like position it carefully and then have the motorcycle go under at the right moments. That was absolutely.
They've had accidents with helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you're never going to get anything like that anymore.
Yeah, they're never going to have stuff like that, and that's the thing. It's CGI makes it easy. Do you know? I'll give you an example of two movies that really pissed me off for CGI and how they had no concept of it. One was Kong, the Jack Black Kong. The bit when they're running down the valley with all the dinosaurs and they're running. That's a case of no concept of it. And then the other one was, I can't even remember the movie, but there's been so many tropey movies with the same thing, is there's been a crash and the two of them are sitting like that, and and a spinning wheel or a spinning blade comes and misses them by about that much and bounces in the grass beside them, and you're sitting there thinking, it's obviously fake. It's so obviously fake that you can't even actually think that looks good as I know that's CGI, but it looks really good. It's so obviously fake. You're sitting there thinking, I could do better than that on my computer, and I've got no experience. But the Jack Black Kong, which I've got, I don't know why I've got it, because it's King Kong. I love King Kong, and I have picked up all the King Kong movies. Although 3 of them I've not watched, I just like the original. But it's the fact is, when they actually do CGI to the point where it's CGI and you just think boring. They're going to be a flying wheel coming out of that explosion, and it's going to miss them by that much. Or there's going to be a flying this, or there's going to be an exploding that, and something's going to happen, and they're going to be only sitting in the only wee square of land that never get touched with anything else because CGI is good at that. It's things like that get annoy me something awful. Proper Bond, yep. You can tell. And I think that's the big difference. The practical effects. Practical effects don't need to be somebody jumping through a window.
Yeah.
You look at no Blade Runner. What was the movie? Total Recall.
Yes.
The original Total Recall. The practical effects of Mars. Yes. That was a model.
I know.
And they basically panned across that. And look how bloody good it did. Yet the remake, they had the CGI of the tunnel and you're sitting there thinking, that looks shite.
I know. So the thing is, with the original Total Recall, that scene close to the end, what freaked me out, where they're on Mars and they can't breathe up, and the eyes go out popping. That scared the living daylights out of me, and it still does today.
Yeah. But it's the fact is, the practical effects, even some of the effects, you're sitting there thinking, it's a wee bit over the top, but it's fun. You watch the eyes popping and coming back in. So you knew it was an effect, but it was a good effect. Even though you thought it's a wee bit silly because it's a wee bit too boggly eyed and stuff like that. And you're thinking a wee bit silly, and you think, but at least it worked. Then you get other effects which are CGI, and you sit and go, wow, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You look at they use practical effects, so they've got
all the close-ups,
the close-up stuff. But you look at it when they actually goes, and she's sitting there and he grabs her head and turns around, and even then,
that was early days. That was early days.
Yeah, it was early days, but it looked damn good.
Yeah, but it wasn't too much. That's the thing. Now I'm going to mention this: the lost art of stop motion.
Ray Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen, right? King Kong, Jason and the Argonauts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Oh god,
the
the skeleton scene in Jason and the Argonauts was absolutely
when
amazing.
stop motion animation, yeah, I think, yeah, stop motion animation in them days was really on key.
Mm-hmm. The
Now
guys
it's just
knew what they were doing, and they could actually choreograph a fight, knowing how long it's got to last, and knowing exactly how the models worked and how they could get the best out of them.
Especially that fight scene with the skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually, you see them stand, and it's like they're fighting against nothing. And you see,
they're saying, right, when you do this, you need to stop because you've hit a sword, or you don't continue right through because it will look silly because you're meant to be hitting a sword. So it's a go, and stuff like that. And then they have to actually do the stop motion to match that. Then they have to blend the two.
Yeah.
Yes, you could tell that. Yes, there's wee bits out there. Maybe he stops, but it's actually meant, there's a slight gap, and you can see. But considering what they were doing, you're not actually going, no, you see, if they were CGI was better, they would get that so it looked as if he was fighting a real person, and they would have someone in a green suit, and they would have all the dots so they can match it all up like nowadays. No. And that's what they would do now. They would have somebody fighting them in green screen, and then CGI a skeleton over the top of it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And that's where it doesn't quite work as well.
Yeah, I agree. You do, Cam. I agree.
It bloody was. I've still got a few of the old classic monsters. I've got all the Godzilla stuff as well.
Godzilla suit motion in Japan is a lost art and all.
Yeah, I've got most of them are downloaded versions because I'm trying to get the full set, but I've only got about 10 of the classic Godzilla stuff. I'm trying to get them all, but I've got them all on download, but I'm trying to get them on DVD.
Right. Can I mention the original film Godzilla?
Godzilla, yep. The first, I actually tried to upload it and I could not upload it to YouTube.
The amount of trouble they had at the beginning with the suit, and what they did for certain parts was they cut the suit in half, had the actor treading down, so they're filming half the suit, and you see him actually using his footwork, so he's not actually sweating. You've also got where he's in the water, and they made water look realistic. They made it actually, and fighting. That you can't have anything like that these days.
No, because you look at, they had to have two guys in the Godzilla suit because they had to have a break because it was so much. They lost weight.
I know.
Because of the amount of sweat. So what they had to do is give them a day off each. So you would be on it all day, and then you would have tomorrow off because he'll be in the suit all day. And they had the two guys actually doing it because the first couple of times they had the guy and they realised they were nearly killing him. So even they actually realised that they had to have two people to share the load.
The one film that really I felt sorry for the guy in the suit was Godzilla vs. Destroyer, like the final of the Heisei series. And Godzilla was like going into nuclear meltdown, but they had light bulbs inside and they had this gas coming out, and the guy passed out, I think,
because of the heat. Because of the heat, because they realised that all this thing was going out, but the heat, because of the outfit, the material the outfit was made in, it was just reflecting all the heat back in. He nearly died of sunstroke inside the suit.
Yeah, and he got paid lots of money for being in that suit.
Yeah.
This is the problem. You don't have that. It's a lost art now.
It is. I know it sounds silly, but you look at even kids' TV, Barney.
Yeah.
I love you, you love me. That was the thing. You used to have Barney. You would have Bongo from the Magic. You would have from Rainbow.
Yeah.
And people would be sitting there thinking, but they're starting around the whole bloody day in an outfit. It is.
Yeah.
It's not cold. It's and they're in a studio which is warm. I've dressed up in cosplay as a Judge Dredd, and all I've had on, apart from a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, was an overall. And that is a bog standard overall, but it had EVA foam there, EVA foam in the head, EVA foam in my boots. And then I was bloody sweltering in a Comic-Con. And it's not as if that is overly hot, but you imagine if there was studio lights on top of that. You look at Crichton from Red Dwarf.
I know.
He said he's fainted because he's under all these films. These lights are so warm.
Now I'm going to mention something else. Classic Doctor Who. When the Daleks first came about, it was a nightmare putting them together. What I heard.
Yes.
But sometimes when people broke for lunch, they left them inside.
You look at Kenny, what do you call him?
Kenny Baker.
Kenny Baker. They left him in the bloody R2D2 outfit. Basically, and the C-3PO.
Oh, Anthony Daniels, yeah.
Yeah. And he said sometimes they would forget to actually unscrew the plate so he could actually breathe. But it's the same again, the guys in the Cybermen outfits.
Oh,
it was a big screw attaching it, and they said sometimes the screw was that long they could feel it scrubbing across the top of their head.
Yeah.
And but you think about it. Now they've got more practical, they can actually mold the plastic easy and make it easier and a bit like me. But then they were putting things together literally just enough
on
to
a
fit.
shoestring budget.
On a shoestring budget, yet they would forget.
I know.
You look at K9, Christ Almighty, they hated K9 because he only had 4 wheels, but when he was meant to be going across sand and stuff like that, they're hoping he doesn't fall over as they're pulling him.
It's the same. It's the same with the Daleks because take the Daleks' invasion of Earth, right?
The pavement.
The Daleks had to be raised so they'd have to have an extra skirt.
I know the skirt. Aye.
Yeah. So okay, they had to take this and raise it up, right? But inside they built like a tricycle so it could go along the bloody pavement. And these would never go roam about like London, you know. And there's also that iconic shot where the Dalek is coming out the Thames.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything like that anymore. This is the thing.
Because it's basically they're all going to be CGI like they did in the. Oh, what was the one about the stupid thing? The one that had that in it.
Oh yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You remember basically what it did was it popped open like that.
The Genesis Arc.
The Genesis Arc. It popped open and all the Daleks came out, and that's what it's going to be now. It's going to be thousands of CGI stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, I think they've gone really over the top of like making the Daleks fly these days now.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't need Daleks anymore. They don't need a practical Dalek because all they do is actually have CGI everything. If they want to actually have a guy sitting there and he'll have a dot on his head, and that'll be right. So that'll be that reference to the Daleks. So all you do is you sit with a wee hat on with a wee pointy so people know what your eyes meant to be pointing at. And then they can reference that, and then they'll just do the CGI around you. And you're sitting there thinking, where's the fun in that? I want to see an actual Dalek stoning around. I've got pictures of me. My daughter used to say, look at him, fanboy, because I would be standing in the Comic-Con and a Dalek would walk past and I would be running after it to get my picture taken with it because I want a practical Dalek.
Yeah, I want a Dalek and all, but can I just say something about the Dalek, right? The original Daleks. Is that okay? When they brought him back in 2005, the head of the Dalek at the top, they said it was under remote control when it swiveled round.
Uh-huh.
Right? It was, and so the guy inside didn't need to use that. But going back to the classic Doctor Who, the guy had to like work the arms and twist the head, make the eyes go up and down. You can't do anything like that anymore.
I know, because it's
you had
all
to do
CGI.
1,000 things. Yes, you had to do
it's all CGI. It gets to the point where it actually becomes ridiculous. And Matthew's right. Yeah, I mean, there were so many cool toys during the Tennant run. I'm not a big New Who Doctor fan. My wallpaper in here is the TARDIS wallpaper. It's literally, there is a picture I've got somewhere of my room initially. See if I can find it. This is my, when it was getting decorated. So you see, I'm a big Doctor Who fan. People actually don't believe me when I say I still am a big Doctor Who fan. Even though I've got all this stuff around me and it's all different things, and I have got mostly, like, even flicking around here. So there's my Sensorite, I mean, the Quark, the mummies and stuff like that. The Ice Warriors and the Daleks are all there as well. Down here, I've got a load of newer stuff, but I'm not really keen on that. However, I'm just looking for my room. Where's my room?
AJ, if my book ever sells for a lot of money and that, I'm definitely buying you a life-size Dalek, even though it puts it outside.
Right, I'm just actually firing up the picture. This is my room, right?
That's good.
That is my room, and so that's the other side. So that is my room. That was my that's been on my wallpaper list for 8 years prior to me getting this room. So I bought that wallpaper and I got it put up. So that is my man cave, and that's my wallpaper all round my room. So see where see this bit here, see this corner here. That's where I'm sitting at the moment.
Can I just say something? It's a great shame you don't have the console.
The nearest I've got to a console is an old wooden desk. This is an old classic wooden desk, leather top and everything.
Me, I would kill for the 1980s console they did.
Yes, I would have loved that console, and if I had the option to a console in the corner, I would have had it.
Yeah.
But as I'm saying, that's my man cave, and that is how it was decorated. So obviously most of it is hidden, but if I turn my camera, you can still see the corner. So you can still see the wallpaper. It isn't blocked with all the stuff. So I've got that around here, but I've still got new Doctor Who stuff. Like, for instance, here. Because if somebody gives me a gift, even if I'm not a big fan of it, I'd never give my gifts away. So I was given that as a gift. Series 4. So you've got River, Donna, and the narrator, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the newer stuff, but I'm not going to get rid of a gift. But I've got a lot of stuff like that there. I've got the I've got David Tennant's Dalek board game. I've got, I've actually got David Tennant in a spacesuit with that in that console.
Yeah.
I've got a load of stuff like that. Yeah. But there was a lot of toys, and they actually reintroduced a lot of classic toys that we couldn't get.
Can I just say something? There was a place called Comic Miniatures in Lavender Hill, Battersea.
Say again?
There was a place called Comic Miniatures, Lavender Hill, Battersea. It's no longer there anymore. I knew the owner very well. It was the ultimate shop to get all your Doctor Who, Thunderbirds, anime, model, all proper model kits and everything, and including toys. Absolutely wonderful place. It was like a treasure, like an Aladdin's cave.
Well,
And
see if you ever get a chance and you're ever up in Scotland and you ever get to Callander, there's a toy museum, and it's from a family who's all their toys from all the kids who. So some of them are still boxed, but most of them aren't. They were played with, and this is basically the whole families. They sell classic. That's where I got my War of the Worlds figure and stuff like that. They sell classic toys, and some of them are fantastic.
I'm gonna say this place, Comic Miniatures, they sold Dalek model kits, right? Before they made the Dalek, what I've got at the back, before they made them look like what they did in the TV series, you had Dalek model kits, and I built an actual Dalek. I got as close to it as possible, and it was absolutely brilliant. And then my older brother broke it.
See, the ones that the kits I had was R2D2 and C3PO. My brother had R2D2. I had C3PO. He had X-wing. No, sorry, he had the TIE fighter and I had the X-wing.
Yeah.
I couldn't get C3PO. Once you assembled it all, his arms had 2 hooks. You were meant to put an elastic in, feed it through and attach it, but I could never get it, so I ended up just gluing his 2 arms so he was stuck. But the model was designed so you put an elastic in between the 2 so his arms could move. So you didn't need to paint it because all the plastic was gold.
Yeah.
So when you were assembling it, you were assembling it properly. And he had the R2D2 kit. And same idea. We were kids. We basically smashed them up.
Well,
we regret it now. We regret it now because they were fantastic models at the time.
Yeah.
The problem, if I could have got a Dalek the same quality as those, I would have had about 50 of them. Because they were just fantastic models, and they weren't really overly expensive. You're talking about in the 80s, they were probably about
£20.
£20. So considering what £20 was way back then, it would probably be like paying 50 or 60 quid now.
Yeah.
But they were so worth it because the quality of the stuff were amazing. And that was pocket money. We just saved up the pocket money to buy them.
Yeah.
I had the X-wing that you could actually, once you assembled it, it would go and you would go, and it would actually, the wings would work.
And going back to practical effects and all this and that, in the original Star Wars movies, you had them actually build the models themselves from scratch built. You know, and you think, and also when they done the trench run.
Yeah.
The trench run.
Yeah.
They had to like actually show the Dan busters. Oh, you lucky sod!
That was the one I was telling you about.
Yes, I love that one.
It is superb, isn't it?
I know. I love that one. I love that movie.
That's where I got that in the calendar in the museum. It's just superb, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I was going to go say they had to show like a clip from the Dan Busters to actually get the trench run right.
Yeah, that's what they basically showed because they did the same with a dogfight. They would show a Battle of Britain dogfight to because they didn't have all the CGI ready to show what they were wanting to do. And to me, that works very well the way it's done. And the fact is they can actually take that and give somebody the idea of exactly how it should go and what it should look like. Perfect.
Yes. But you're never going to get anything like that ever again.
Never again, no.
Apparently, it may be making a comeback.
But it's the same as like Babylon 5.
Yeah.
You look at the CGI of Babylon 5, people would go, doesn't really look real. Explain why it doesn't look real. Well, you could see it's CGI. of course it's CGI. You think they're fucking real spaceships.
Yeah.
They're saying, aye, but all the ships are no sitting side by side. Some of them are going that way. Some of them are going that way. It's space.
Yeah.
They're not meant to all actually be lined up.
I know.
That's where it becomes ridiculous. Star Trek and all that do it just to make it easy for you to understand. But Babylon 5 decided, no, they don't need to, because it's space. The ships can look and fly any direction. It makes no difference.
One thing I do want to mention, Red Dwarf. Now, you remember when they did remastered?
Yes.
I wasn't really a fan of that, because I know Red Dwarf was a long pencil shape.
Yes, I know, when they crunched it.
Yeah, but apparently the original, they actually did build a genuinely life-size model of the pencil shape, but it was, they never got to actually film the proper sequence of it because it was too long.
Because and then in the original was thing where they basically had to, somebody had cut it.
Yeah, but was it the original model was this giant heap of a trash can in space?
And that's what it was meant to be. That's what they wanted it to look like. A trash can in space.
Yeah.
Where are you? I've got my Red Dwarf somewhere. They're up here. They're up there. I've got my that's basically my. I've got a Scutter and I've got a Starbug.
Yeah.
But I'll raise you
something I couldn't get.
A Scutter, yeah. I've not got that. I've not got that. I did have it, and when I was moving, I lost it. I lost it.
If I ever get rid of it, you can have it.
But I used to have that because I had the DVD box set which had that in it, and I lost it. I lost it. God knows what happened to it. Well, actually, I know what happened to it. I probably accidentally given it away or thrown it away.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was moving, it was just one of those things. It went on the wayside. But see, my man cave used to be a lot different. I'm just actually looking because.
Well, I was going to ask how he's Thunderbird for anyway. How he's Thunderbird for?
He's doing great. Look, he's sitting there. Oh yes, he's just next to this wee guy here. Hold on, move the mic.
There he is.
Yes, he's sitting there. But look, I'll show you my original man cave before I got this house. All right.
Hey,
that was it there because you could just see my desk. It was the same desk. So
you lucky sod! You got the Dalek Emperor.
I had two of them. I gave one away. The Dalek Emperor. Look, there he's there. Look.
Yeah. Because the one I'm after is the evil of the Daleks Emperor.
Yeah.
Because someone's actually built a genuine set of it that goes with the 5-inch figures.
But no, as you can see, most of my stuff is at hand because I usually know what it is. But I'm actually see that desk. You can just see the look at the color of the desk. That is the desk that I've got just now. That's this desk here. You can just see it. It's the old classic, and I'm just trying to see if there's a better picture of the desk. See, it's just looking at all these, having to view. I need to actually make them into large icons so I can actually see what I'm doing. Now, see, there's my man cave. My current man cave before, as it was being built. See, as you can see, there's a lot more space. There's a lot less wall space now.
Yeah.
As you can see, it changes slightly. But I'm just actually trying to find my old.
I've got my eye on the special weapons Dalek at the top because I'm going to get one of those at some point.
As I said, I had two. That was years ago. It was one of my first.
I knew years ago I could have asked for it.
Yeah. But this was my very, 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 very first setup. One shelving.
Yeah.
That was it. One shelving unit. Face a bow and stuff like that. As you can see, there's bits. See that? Look. That's the one I was telling you about. I've got that. I've still got that up there. So I have. So it's still in the box. Still as it is, like that.
You see, I noticed you got the Cybermen there.
Oh God, I've got them.
I get
rid of that. I get rid of that last week. The cyber control, and I get rid of that Cyberman. These Cybermen I kept because they're all classic. I get rid of that as well. So I did.
Yeah.
Because I get rid of most of my new stuff. But as you can see, I just had bits and pieces. And that was my early stuff. That was my very first collection. One drawer, or one shelving unit. And you can see I've still got most of my damage.
Oh, wasn't that special weapons dog?
Yeah, there he's there. He's still there. I've still got him.
I'm still after trying to get one of those.
That's what I'm saying. That was my first collection. And then I went to the second one, was that one I was showing you. I even got this at one point, but I gave this to my friend's daughter because it was a plushie.
Yeah.
He used to have it in work. That's my work's desk years ago. Even round in my office, I had all that stuff around my desk. But it's amazing the stuff you do or you get away with.
Yeah.
I'm just about to see if I can find that desk, a better picture of the desk. I can't even find it. I think I've not got a better picture of my desk than that one originally one where you just see it in the corner. So definitely don't have it. No. So that's what my stuff looks like now. It's basically all these shelves on the one side and at the other side as well. There's shelving units and the walls full with pictures.
Well, just to let you know, in the next probably couple of months' time.
The Billy bookshelves, that's exactly what they are.
In the next couple of months' time, hopefully, that shelf up the top there is going because I'm going to get an actual cabinet to stick all the pod vehicles I've got in the glass cabinet because they're gathering dust and it's getting on my solid
This
nerves.
shelving unit is a Billy, and I've got 3, the tall ones, and I've got 1, 2, 3 of the half size. They only go to that height, so I've got 3 of this size at that wall, and 1 at that wall, and at that wall I've got 2. Plus, I've got 2 of these units as well. So I have, and I've got a couple of other chest of drawers and stuff like that with just things sitting on top. But the Billy bookshelves are definitely fantastic because I've got extra shelves. So anytime I want to change it, I just take all the shelves out and reorganize the shelves because the shelves you can add shelves in. So if you're ever actually looking at a shelving unit, the Billy one's from IKEA.
I'm just going to get the glass ones, but now I'm going to. I want to get rid of some Thunderbird stuff.
The Cam's right. We never have enough room.
Now I'm going to ask you this, PJ, because I haven't got any room. I'm running out of room, and where I've got 2 of these. Where I've got these 2 already that go with my pod vehicles, right?
Yep.
I'm definitely keeping those. I'm going to ask you, would you like A and B?
Oh, very nice.
This one was actually a working model, but the thing is it doesn't work anymore because the motor's cut out and but you can keep it. Just cut the wire off. But I've got the things that attach to. They usually like spring out. There's a spring mechanism inside. I'm going to ask, would you want these?
Yeah.
Okay, I will try and get them to you within the next couple of weeks.
See, if I knew you had liked that, I'd basically see if I've ever cleared space.
Yeah.
You can have that. So, like me, because if I need space, which is going to be in one of these units, and it's because I'm going to get my Laurel and Hardy, I'm going to get my Ash. I've got 2 Ash figures coming this week, and I've got one booked from Big Chief. I've got my Laurel and Hardy from Big Chief, and I've also got. I've already said that apart from the Ash, I want these bobblehead collection as well, because there is 3 Red Dwarf ones. There's a Lister, there's a Cat, and there is an Inquisitor. There's also a few. There's a Scarface one. There is a few other. It would go with my collection of my bobbleheads. And I've said to him I'm interested in them as well. So I've got a few things coming. So I might need space in the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
And if that's the case and that's going, I'll give you a shout and I'll actually get it to you.
Hey, can I just say something? I forgot I had this. You know the Dalek from Planet of the Daleks, the Supreme?
Yes. The big silver one.
Not the big black and gold one.
Jesus Christ, what happened to that?
I decided to take it apart because I needed the base underneath. And I thought I stripped the bastard. Oh no, but do you know what my brother done? He actually broke it. I've got to super glue this back on. He actually broke it. I don't know how, but
see, I've got one like that. Hold on, I'll show you.
I had to give him my one, which was a bit annoying.
I'm trying to remember exactly where it is because it's in 2 pieces, but it's actually deliberately in 2 pieces, and it's just trying to remember exactly where the 2 pieces are. See, I know what it is. Give me 2 seconds, I'll show you this.
Okay.
How about that one? How about that one?
Hey, nice.
Look.
You lucky sod.
An egg cup. That's my egg cup.
Do you know what I've just found in here? These laminated things I did for my Seascape project from the episode Thunderbirds.
Oh, I don't remember you were talking about that and setting it up.
Well, it will be set up when I move home one day. Here's the actual one. Because I had to put legs underneath it.
Yes, because you were saying about the strength of them.
Yeah, well, apparently someone's beaten me to and actually built a Lego model version of it and made it like hollow underneath, and this is cheating. You could dip your unit soldiers into it.
Superb. Never thought of that one. Yeah, definitely. Because they would all be in one, a single unit. Dip. I'm going to have an egg tomorrow. I'm definitely going to have an egg tomorrow just so I can go unit soldier. Doop.
Yeah.
I've got my unit soldier standing there,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, there's about 4 things on top of it, so I don't want to take them off just to dig them out. But it's the Lethbridge Stewart, the Captain Yates, and Corporal and Sergeant Benson. It's the unit from 1971's Claws of Axos. box set. And I'm not dipping him in anything.
Well, anyway, yes. So what I'll do, I'll get the 2 recovery vehicles sent to you in the next couple of weeks. Now I'll put them in a nice small box, cardboard box.
Yeah. But as I said, when my Laurel and Hardy come through and my Ash, I will need some space. And if anything's going from that unit, it will be the Dalek.
Which one?
The big one.
What, the Emperor?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, send it to me then. Oh.
Yeah, no problemo.
That will go Bradley probably up the top there.
Yeah, you're not getting my special weapons, Dalek. No way.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor then? If you come across one, can you try?
If I come across one, I will pick up. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Been after a special weapon style.
Yeah, the special weapons Dalek is superb. I've got 2. I've got the wee Eagle Moss one, and I've got the one, and it works. It still presses the button and fires. So yes, I do like it. But I'm actually, I mean, see up next to my my spaceship from War of the Worlds. I bought myself this. So I did. Just so.
Hey, nice.
So I bought that because I couldn't get. I tried to get the tank in a tin, the American Sherman. So
it
actually is not too bad for size. It's the remote control doesn't really work. It worked for about 3 days and then it stopped working. So I just took the batteries out. But it's not too bad size for the War of the World. So it just sits there as part of the diorama for up there for my War of the World tank. I'm want to get 2 Shermans the right size, but the problem is I have to wait and get the right sizes because I've came across a couple of Shermans, but they're not quite the right size. They're either too small or too big. So still look.
Well, at the moment I've I don't know what's going on this week, but I will be watching that film later that you recommended.
Yes, definitely. Ash v Evil Dead. I've got Bruce Campbell in the brain.
Yeah.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Definitely. It is a movie and a half. Alan Turyk's always good in the stuff he does. But in this one, he just plays the hillbilly. A hillbilly Bill and Ted is probably a very good description of it. And that's what it says on the folder, the DVD cover. The hillbilly Bill and Ted. Because these 2 guys don't really know what's happening. And they just think it's the college kids are up there to commit suicide. So because they see them dying around them and they don't know why. It's just fun.
Yeah.
So we'll do that Wednesday. Wednesday 8:00 here for Tucker and Dale versus Evil review and discussion. I'll put the link up so people will be aware of what we're watching, and I'll let the guys know. Anybody who wants to join, yous are always welcome to come and chat. So, and I'm trying to think. Let's see. Discord. Where's my Discord? I've copied it. So, anybody wants to be in contact, drop me a line on Discord. A Discord ID. I think that's all you need. I don't know. I don't use Discord as much as I should. I'm pretending I know what I'm talking about. Yes, old man farting, no talk. I only work in IT. I only fix computers. I don't know how to use them. And I'm no kidding.
Shall I promote myself?
Yes, tell us what's happening on your channel, your book, your stuff.
Okay, the book is in let's just say, reviewment with the publishers. I don't know what's going on next with it at the moment, but I can't wait till the final product is revealed to me. And if they show me a preview of the cover, I will ask permission and we'll show it on this channel if that's okay with you. Saying, look what's coming. Another thing is, everybody is welcome to take part in this if you can get a hold of a copy on the 28th, which is a Tuesday. Broadcasting from 8 p.m. going into how long we're going to end up talking about it. We are doing Terror in New York City, the discussion, the iconic Thunderbirds episode.
Yes, and remember, people, that's a school night. So even though he says until whatever time, we've all got work in the morning.
We've all got work in the morning, but all I can say is that we are going to be broadcasting until whenever we wrap up, probably midnight or something, but it doesn't matter. But everybody is welcome to come in and join in on the discussion if you watch the episode. We're not reviewing it, we're not giving stars or anything. We're just discussing about the episode and what it would look like in a real world situation. And another thing I want to mention, we had a passing of thank you very much, Cam. We have the voice of Alan Tracy, Matt Zimmerman, has passed away recently. And we will be doing a 5-minute tribute to him because he was also the voice of Ned Cook, the reporter in this episode of Terror in New York City. And he said that was the bestest role he loved doing. And you think, well, poor Alan. Poor Alan. But everyone's welcome. But everyone's welcome to come and join in on the discussion. We will be live streaming it. So do what you can to find that episode. It's all available at media outlets and that, or if you've got a copy of the box set, have a watch of it.
Definitely.
That's what I can recommend.
Aye, well, we will be talking about it leading up to it, so just stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Get over to FFSI channel and subscribe. Get ready to go. Remember and join us on Wednesday for Tucker and Dale versus Evil. We will be talking about it. There is no Let's Talk Geeky next week because I'm got an engagement I'm going to. Family thing. I need to go. Stop being a grumpy old bugger and say, go, here I come. Yeah. I'll still be a grumpy old bugger, but I'll be doing it to family this time. They deserve it. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, lads and lassies, Alec, Cam, Matthew, John,
Kelly,
Miss Brian.
Yep.
Or sorry, not Brian. I'm not even going to talk about the porno site, the city, because I think I missed one of them at one point. And I'm just going through. Kelly, thank you for joining us. Roman of the Empire, thank you. And I've already got Brian, and we'll ignore Jim. We'll ignore Alec. We'll ignore me. And Mr. Brown's Alliance, and you with somebody else. And John Coogan. Thank you all for joining us. And I hope you had fun. And I hope you will be there on Wednesday for Tucker and Dale. In the meantime, remember, I'm not old, I'm classic. PJ Maybe and Alec out. And see you Wednesday.